Welcome to the Kaizorian Experience. Over here, we're going to be talking about everything African. We're going to be having debates, discussions, entertainment, as well as learning about business, art, history, and everything in between. Cultural, tribalism, and everything. We're going to be out here debating with some really interesting stuff. So, like the video, share the video, and make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Subscribe for the best experience ever. This is the biggest channel on the Afrosphere. So come and join the team, become a Kaizorian, and join the Kaizorian Empire. Universally exist within myself, within this premise, and I exist within this bluebird in the sky. I'ma fly like the bird in the sky. I'ma fly like bird in the sky. I'ma fly like bluebird in the sky. I'ma fly like bluebird in the sky. I'ma fly like bluebird in the sky. I'ma throw my bluebird in the sky. I'ma soar like bluebird in the sky. I'ma soar like bluebird in the sky. I'ma fly like bluebird in the sky. I'ma fight like bluebird in the sky. I'ma eat like bluebird in the sky. I'ma be like bluebird in the sky. I'ma be bluebird in the sky. I'ma be free, bluebird in the sky. I'ma be free like bluebird in the sky. I'ma be like bluebird in the sky. Back again like the second coming. Strumming my vocal cords like the hummingbird in the sky. Y'all can't deny this. Real rap lyrics, it's like I ain't got no rhyming through the sky limit. What is skin tone, shade of color, but a parallel form of frequency like a ringtone on your phone. Melanin expression, tied up in the universe, feeling like God's. Is this really us? Is it serious? Is it really wrong to be diverse? I'm a divergent, immerse myself like an ocean beneath this waves, be a divergent. Shalom, shalom, mother loving one. What's good, my Africans out there? Make sure as you're coming in to like the video, share it, and subscribe, and so that we can support Black and African media. That's the number one tenet that you can do, and it's free. The favorite number for Africans. So shout out to you guys. Yeah, so there was an assassination attempt on Trump's life. Happened a few hours ago, and we're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about the geopolitical implications of this, who wanted him gone, and is Trump better for Africa since he's not a globalist, apparently, or is it Biden, right? We as Africans don't live in America. These American Africans, we can't trust them because they cry about racism. No, we don't care about racism. We care about geopolitical strategy on who is going to be in control of our resources, which deals are going to be signed. Trump is largely anti-expansionism and anti-imperialism. He's just pro-American. So we're going to talk about that today. What's good? I don't know if our co-guy over here, Mr. Should I call you Mr.? Nigerian First. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm good. What's good? What's good?
Yes. So this assassination attempt, have you seen the video? Have you seen it? Should I share it so that we get people in the same?
I've seen it. I followed through with the incident last night. So I've seen it. This is what polarization causes. See, the way America has been divided by political line is crazy. And the media are very involved in creating this environment. For example, this whole thing started during Obama's administration because the Republican wanted to make him a boogeyman to their people. You understand me? They create the environment. You have leaders like Bill O'Reilly, Rush Limbaugh. You have leaders like Newt Gingrich. These guys, what they were saying were man, it was nasty. Even Trump, even including Trump. So this Trump actually just saw the opportunity, saw the divide. Then it took over. But what do you expect when you feel people with too much hate? Then at some time they need to let go of those energy. That's what bad energy causes. You don't feed people too much bad energy, they are going to explode. Yeah. the American politics now, not just if you pay attention, even the people they don't even care about policy or that thing. It's just about personality, insult. I hate Democrat. Whatever Democrat do, I will never give them credit or I will never say anything nice about them. Say the same thing with both sides, and it's crazy. It's like, man, people would rather cut off their nose to spite their their opponent. It's crazy, man. If this continue, man, that their democracy is not going to survive. They need to find a way to calm, like to relax, take a deep breath, then reset again.
Okay. This is interesting. Okay, this situation. Um, so as I was saying earlier on the different stream a few minutes ago, it's possibly kind of orchestrated by oligarchs and the so-called the shadow government basically out there, and the same people that got rid of JFK, the same people that got rid of Tom Mboya, Kenya's real first freedom fighter, and then they started putting in puppets who look like freedom fighters. I won't comment on which ones those were in Kenya, but the ones that you people know and think was freedom fighters. Point is, with this whole situation, right? There hasn't been an assassination attempt in over 40 years in America, right? So why do you think that it's happening now? And do you think that Trump is too self-assured and he is not too old, or someone that you can kind of gaslight? If you look at our brother over there, right? Biden can be gaslit because Biden is barely functional as a human being, right? He can't even remember certain things. He says the wrong things. He can't be trusted. Decisions. So he can be gaslit simply by saying, we'll remove you and a vote of no confidence unless you do what we want you to do. So, but you can't gaslight Trump. Trump is, cognitively speaking, Trump is fine. Whether you think he's crazy or not, that's a second.
No, let's be honest. Both of them speak out of line. Both of them. If this is why I always tell people, drop your bias and listen to both of them. They are always out of line in their conversation. You understand me? So both of them are mentally, although that of Biden is a little bit worse. You understand me? But Trump is not even like physically, yes, he's strong physically, but mentally, he and Biden they are just in the same category, really. But physically strong. I'm not going to deny that. Trump is strong physically, but mentally, listen to him when he speak. He goes out of line most of the time. You understand me? But he have that agility, physically well. So you don't because of that physicality, use that to balance everything. However, Biden is kind of frail, look stiffy and all that. So that's why you can easily just spot Biden's mismatch or whatever I want to call it.
Okay, and I'll ask you some geopolitical questions later onwards. We got another brother over here. Shout out to Mr. Josh Jones, the real Fed over there. I don't know who exposed you, by the way. I didn't expose you on my channel, but I think the other guy exposed you. But go ahead, Mr. Josh Jones, the best boxer to ever exist. Go ahead, brother.
Who's the best boxer?
It has to be Josh Jones, man. No, it's not. No, it's not. What's his name? Is that nigga that can't read? What's his name? Mayweather or something?
Yeah, Mayweather was actually supposed to be pretty good, but he's before my time.
So you're Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali? Which one?
Ali before Tyson. Any dude that bites another dude, like that's just like fighting another girl. Your reputation's gone instantly.
Mm-hmm. Also, I think for me, Muhammad Ali was actually quite intellectually rigorous. Yeah. Okay, good. You know exactly what I mean. So I think that kind of helped to the whole, everything to his character.
Well, like, it speaks well if you could beat somebody's ass both physically and mentally. I think that holds a lot of value to it.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. So okay, fair enough. Yeah. So your time, Muhammad Ali, I agree. He was one of the greatest. And Mayweather from my time, I also think he's one of the greatest. So yeah, those two for me some of the best boxers. One is purely tactical. The other one is both tactical and also knew how to put a show. The issue with Mayweather, he doesn't put a show. Muhammad Ali would go knock out people and make it like a spectacle, man. That was on point.
Yeah, that's true. So the idea that like Trump is polarizing the US, kind of a little odd, because it's kind of always been the US has always been this way. Like, well, at least let's say post World War II, it's just always been polarizing, just like always been the case. We seem to find anything and everything to fight over. As for the concept of like political assassinations, this wasn't the first, most likely won't be the last like attempt on Trump. Keep in mind, right? Like we've never really lost a president, or no president's ever been assassinated, or presidential elect, if I have to give him a correct title, has ever been like assassinated during a campaign process.
But there have been attempts around 40 years ago, right?
Oh no, we get them all the time. I think the last one was either Hinckley. Let's see here, Hinckley, Reagan. They were both. Reagan was shot. I forgot what happened to Hinckley. I think he was shot. I have to go back and look. It's just such a common thing. Not to mention that, like, you know, Trump. This isn't even the first attempt on Trump. Like, I think the last one was some dude tried to ram his motorade with one of those little tiny compact cars. I believe it was white. It was actually comical to watch. It just happens often, strangely enough.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I mean, most people are generally afraid of authority, but there's still a good 10-15% that they're just going to do what they're going to do.
Okay. Shut out. So this whole situation, I mean, the guy looked like an incel. His face was flat and a Chinese ass, a woman's ass, right? So what's going on there? The guy clearly was not the person that really hated Trump. I mean, to be honest, he looked like one of those white trash that has been inbred like 50 times. I think he was paid, or I don't know, something, or again, paid. What would paying matter, right? Family and all that kind of stuff. I'm not sure, but the guy looks like an inbred, right? With a disfigured face, an incel, and his face looks flatter than some Chinese woman's ass. So clearly, is not your. This is not a sniper. Like you know, we're not talking about the Black Lives Matter sniper who was some black guy, ex-Marine, or something with like great shots, killed like 6 cops. We're talking about someone that looks like they shouldn't even be. Evolution would have got rid of their ass a long time ago. So go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, that would be. That sounds about accurate when it comes to him. Probably for that region too. Like Pennsylvania is a really strange place. Keep in mind, like I'm upstate New York, like literally throw a rock and hit the Delaware River, literally. So like I'm like right there next to Pennsylvania. Most of the metro cities like Philly and stuff, they're generally like large. Well, they're large metro cities. Bethel Park, where he's from, that's like rural USA. That whole rally was actually held at a farm. Like, I mean, that's kind of that area. I mean, I think historically it's known for like coal.
Actually, I've just confirmed it. The guy was a Republican. See, he did not look like a liberal. Say what you want about liberals, but they don't look like they have an IQ that is questionable.
Did you see his TikTok account?
Oh no, not yet.
They might have pulled it because I can't find it now. Mm-hmm. Which would be.
But another thing I also observe. I need to say this.
Which okay, go ahead now.
We may disagree when Twitter was with Jack Dorsey, but because at least they were kind of moderating, like we're control of the platform. But currently, right now, I think social media is just it's like in a civil war whereby there's no rules, there's no control, nothing. Anyone can post anything there without any verification, without any fact checking. It is a mess. I see, this is the only thing. That's why I was a fan of Elon Musk before, but currently now I am no longer his supporter, because the way he's going about all this thing, it will be, see, it's like we have, because a lot of people love him, we have ended up creating a monster, and that is a problem. No control of the platform. Everyone can just do whatever they want. It is a mess now.
Yeah,
You
but
receive
that's
information, you don't even know if it is true or fake. That's why
yeah, but
for
that's
now, it is better to just hold on and wait for the real fact before saying anything or commenting.
to be fair though, that's always been the case. You could go back to the 1920s, look up newspapers, and find like propaganda. It's just always been the case. Just the fact that it's the internet doesn't really mean anything. Just means it's a
It
new
has
communication
become
system.
more. It has become more worse now on Twitter. Everyone is not just a reporter, whereby they have all the details. They don't wait for FBI or government agency to release report or wait for investigation to be concluded. Everyone just take position, and at the end of the day, we all look like fools because we are too quick or rushed to take a position.
Yeah, but as the human species, we've also always gossiped. You just pick any era in human history. Like we've kind of always done it.
But okay,
Maybe
but when you look at the like even before, let's say before Obama, when you look at the Congress, for example, there were at least there were a little bit of a unity in the Congress, whereby they sometimes agree on something and vote on something like a majority. You see, they will get like 60 votes or more than 60 votes. But these days, everything just across party line. It's crazy. No one wants to compromise. Nothing. Even though if you listen to Democratic supporters, they don't want any compromise. If you listen to Republican supporters, they don't want any compromise from their politician. So, of course, the country will be in the current state it is right now. It is just
well,
fighting war, 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 war.
maybe a little oversimplification. So do people want to compromise? No. Are people doing it? Yeah, that's pretty much about the only way to get anything done. That seems to be the case within any government system I've ever seen. It's kind of like I sort of get what you're saying, and it might be the case that it's like worse now than it was like maybe 30, 40 years ago, but society is also worse now than it was 30 or 40 years ago. It's just always been the case.
Okay, and another thing I
Right.
noticed, America always pride himself as a democracy, which everyone likes what is
Yeah,
spread
No, no,
around.
they're not. America is a
We're-
republic. It's a
we're-
republic. It's a democracy.
yeah, we're
But I
a
want to
republic.
ask one thing. When you look at, for example, when you look at the United States Supreme Court, I don't know if the citizens pay attention to this. Whatever party that nominates the the Supreme Court judge, if you pay attention, they normally vote in any law. 90% of the party that pick them, that nominate them to the position. So when you look at that, is the Supreme Court is not independent at all. They are swayed by their own political whatever people that nominate them. Instead
Yeah,
of
I guess
instead of
depends
just
well,
applying
yeah,
the
sure.
law as it is.
Well, it depends on what you mean by independent.
Okay, see, if I appoint the judge and most of his ruling favor the party that appoints him to that position, does that really
they agree to the corruption. Because at the end of the day, just because you appoint someone doesn't mean
that's
they'll.
corruption?
Yeah, but you can't really put any person, and this is true globally. You can't put any person in any position of power and them not have some type of bias one way or the other. You can't be human and not be biased. You're going to generally represent like the morals and the values that, or corruption if that might be the case, right? It's always going to be you representing basically you. It's unavoidable unless you want to try to put a machine in place. Like you
Right.
can't.
So,
Yeah, I agree. Everyone has his bias.
But that's kind of what they do. If you're talking about the Supreme Court, that's kind of their job. I know they don't like to say it like they're.
Okay, but it was not like that before. For example,
Oh,
the-
it's
the
oh, yeah,
abortion, No, no, no.
Last
Let
100
me
years,
explain it.
no,
The-
last 100 years, it's definitely been that way.
Okay, for example, the abortion law, huh? When you look at those that vote for it way back, like back in the days, it was they got a vote from both parties. It was like a unanimous decision in that ruling. Then this current set of justice came in and just overturned that law that was already in existence, that already litigated.
Yeah, but that's kind of, yeah. So here's kind of like a fault system with laws. You can create laws, you can knock them down. You actually don't even need like a court system to actually knock U.S. law down. You could, in theory, they call it jury nullification. It's kind of a cheap trick, but generally speaking, let's say bank robber, he goes to court, right? And he decides, well, I'm not going to waive jury trial. I'm going to have my jury trial. And the jury has decided that they're just not going to enforce it. We call it jury nullification. They could actually just release him based on the concept of, well, we don't agree that the law is lawful, and thus just release the guy. Doesn't matter what the law actually says, defines him as being guilty. Doesn't really matter. I mean, like, the system's got all kinds of weird, some people call it checks and balances, some people call it corruption. It kind of just really depends on how a person wants to like view a system, whether it's, being good or bad. Usually it follows onto the lines of, if I'm against it, I'm going to call it corruption. If I'm for it, I'm going to call it like, a check and balance or fairness or something, right? It's just, that's how people communicate an idea. The U.S. is not any one thing, and that would also include its laws. They're not really ironclad. Hell, not even our Bill of Rights. Like somebody will say, like the Second Amendment, like people have a right to a firearm until they get convicted of a felony, and then that goes away.
Okay, Kezo, for example, let me ask: if Trump wins, is that going to affect this Kenya-U.S. Relationship?
Anything that happens in the U.S. is definitely going to affect other people. Like if there's trade agreements, if there's economy ties, right? Like it's always going to have an effect.
Oh, okay. That means
that means that's however. Well, hang on. Well, it depends, right? Trump is vocal about being anti, globalism and anti-imperialism, expansion of the American empire. He wants to keep American jobs in America, but also I think he understands that America is in the position that they're in because of the military-industrial complex. So there's a self-quandary there relating Trump. He doesn't want to expand, but he also understands he has to maintain the power when it comes to the seas in order to obviously maintain America's dominance.
Interest, dominance, yes, interest.
Right. Yeah, so what that means is, right, in relation to Kenya and all these deals that Ruto has signed, for example, this major non-NATO ally, the first Black African country, we had a couple of North African countries do it, and we know why, right? Countries are near the, Egypt, for example, Morocco, and also between Europe and Africa. Now, Kenya is the first Black African country. Now, previously, South Africa was the major ally to America, when it, established by the Boers, right? The previous apartheid government. However, now that South Africa is going towards this whole BRICS nation thing, they need to find someone new. And of course, they have to find someone new within the ocean that's of interest, right? We talk about the Indian Ocean specifically in that area. So I don't think Trump is going to undo certain things, because if you look at geopolitically, it is within America's interest to use Kenya in order to establish its presence in Africa. That's the thing. America's, no matter how much Trump is anti-war and anti-imperialism, I still think that it's within the America's interest to have an African country that has access to the Indian Ocean to be in their pocket. So I don't think that will change. I mean, there's a reason why America, during Trump's reign, did he remove any of these foreign bases? Of course not. So let's look at it that way, right? No, he's not just going to go and undo things that even Congress agreed with. Now, what might change is this new contracts that Ruto managed to acquire, which are zero interest, zero loan free agreement to create the Kenya's new superhighway from Port Mombasa to Nairobi. That one he might want to renege on it. However, it was between an American company. The president just kind of helped it happen. Why? Because, well, that doesn't seem like a very American thing, right? You're literally giving Kenyans free money to build their road. And yes, you will get the money back eventually, but, it's not really the most, American-centric sort of decision. So I think those ones might reduce. But when it comes to the geopolitical warlike strategies, no, I don't think they'll change.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Trump is not stupid, right? Like, even like I mentioned earlier in the other stream with the Kenyan guy, right? If you look at Trump supporters, a lot of them are Bible bet niggas, right? Niggas are Jesus save my soul. Right? These niggas want to support Israel. He's not going to go against Israel either, no matter how much anti-establishment he is, right? Those are his voters. At the end of the day, so he has to play that game, and Trump is a good pretender of being a Christian, right? So, I think it's going to work out. The whole porn star thing. I mean, he's like, well, it never really happened. You see what I mean, right? So, yeah. So, Josh, I have a question for you. Trump versus Biden. I think it's clear. Trump is obviously better. Biden is literally, his IQ and brain matter is literally smaller than my mincemeat that I had last night, right? And I was only 200 grams since I'm African. I can't afford shit. But do you think Americans are? Have you guys reached a level of nepotism? I know you're nepotism, like American exceptionalism, that you think it doesn't matter who becomes president? How the hell is it two granddads, but especially Biden? How the hell is he even running as the major antagonist to Trump? How does that even happen?
Oh God, the DNC. So just so my bias is disclosed here, I'm a staunch Republican. Specifically, I'm a staunch conservative, kind of like the ugly kind. Republican is just like it's basically a basket. There's a lot of groups that are involved into it. Trump or Biden himself, right? I think it would be a mistake to actually think that it's like Biden doing a lot of things. Like, the guy can't tie his own damn shoes. Like, just this idea that he's writing executive orders and planning and stuff like that. I don't know what the hell where anybody would think that. It's DNC party versus GOP party. Been that way for a long time. The idea of voting for a president and it meaning something, you'd have to be more clear on what group of people think what goal. Because again, you got different groups of people that have different goals, whether they believe something's like obtainable or not, or even achievable. Like that's you need a more specific question.
Okay. I'll come back to you on that one. Lozy was good, my South African brother. Yeah, have you been having the braai? I mean, you have to give me respect, man. That accent is actually really good.
Lozy, what's up? Long time. How you doing? What's good?
Good, man. Good. Guys, no one speaks like that in South Africa, man. Stop.
Really? I really had the coloreds really speak like me. Come on, don't lie.
Look, man, about this Trump thing, man. First of all, Trump is not gonna be good for any of us, especially in the global south. So it's gonna kind of like bring a bit of strength of America back. We don't want America to be at the lowest, and we also don't want America to be at their prime anymore. So a neutralized America, which Biden has done well in terms of putting America where it is now.
One second. You said neutralized. You mean a neutered American? But yeah, go ahead.
Neutral America in the sense of power, where we don't want them to be in the fight.
I know. I use the word neutered, but go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear? Yes. So we don't want a strong America. And I mean, Trump won't make America strong as it was. America will never be as it was because it has got new competitors. But I will still want Biden to go for the next 4 years so that America can continue to be at the weak position like they are now. So what happened with the shooting thing, I think it was just it's just a stunt, pulling out the trick. Trump wants to be a hero at the moment, and that's good. It can work for him. but I haven't done so much research on that, what happened on that shooting, to come to a solid conclusion. But I think it's just, man. I don't see how they couldn't kill him if they wanted to kill him. You know, I don't. For me, it doesn't make sense. And Trump is the same guy who said he's the Mandela of USA. So I think Trump is playing the political game. He's trying to come up with stunts to gain more attention and all that. I don't really think they wanted to kill him. I don't think any president in USA is that difficult to kill. I mean, you look at how they assassinated Jeff Kennedy. So if the establishment it's unified and they want to get rid of Trump, they can do that. The problem now is that the establishment of America, which is actually running America, they are divided. For the longest time, they've always spoken in one tongue in terms of geopolitics. You know, they will kind of like get along, but at the moment, I think there's a huge division among the establishment, and you know, people like Trump and all these politicians are just the custodians who have to play to the masses and sit with the establishment and do.
Who is the they? Who when you say they were trying to assassinate him?
Shadow government.
It's the shadow government, of course, but I don't think they wanted to assassinate. I think this could be coming from the Trump side. You know, I don't think they're trying to kill him. I think it's just like Trump. He wants to be seen as a hero now. I mean, for me, I still think that they want. They're not trying to kill him.
Yeah, what does that mean? That do you think it was on the Trump side? What does that mean?
It could have been planned. The whole thing could have been planned. It's like let's say let's go with the conspiracies, right? Let's say 9/11 was done by the CIA to achieve whatever the agenda they wanted to achieve, something like that. You know, let's say at the far extreme, let's say it was Israel that actually did this the 7th of February, if I'm correct, the Palestine issue now. Where they blame Hamas, all these things, anything is possible at the highest level because it's about power, right? What I think is happening at the core is that the hierarchy in USA or whatever, the Western sphere, is divided in geopolitics. And you know, we live in a world where geopolitics are more important than local politics. I don't think Trump is gonna do much change geopolitically. We might see change in terms of Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Palestine, China, and Taiwan. But most of the things will remain the same. When it comes to places like Kenya or Africa as a whole, Trump is not going to change anything that Biden couldn't change. The establishment will decide on that. I don't think Africa it's a big deal or big issue for America at the moment. What is happening is the global South, China, Ukraine, and Iran. I think these three regions, Russia, China, and Iran, I think these are the hot topics and hot things for the establishment. And whatever they're fighting internally, they might be one to replace Biden with Trump, and then they're fighting over that. But I think if Biden leaves, it's not going to be good for us. You know, I prefer Biden there because he's really tarnishing America. He's doing the Lord work for us in the global South.
Trump I see, because started and he doesn't really care.
No. But you don't understand. Trump is the one that is good for Africa, not even Biden. Because when you look Trump took power, Trump just abandoned Africa, and that was a good,
brother.
Abandoned Africa.
Any leader who will restore the strength of America back won't be good for Africa. The stronger America is not really good for America. It's not good for Africa. I'm talking about Africa being liberated, where we gain a bit of power and strength in geopolitics. I'm not talking about Africa where we do the usual trade, where we always get the end of stick. We don't.
I agree.
That can go back to normal. You know, with Trump, we can go back to that position. But I'm saying, in terms of Africa progressing and gaining a bit of power in geopolitics, we don't need a strong America for that. We need to see Biden doing what he needs to continue doing what he's doing, so that Russia and China can continue to gain a bit of strength. Like, you know,
can I ask, so like when you say the rise, I don't know how to word this. When you say, like, when you talk about Africa as a continent, right, wanting it to grow and become bigger, right? What's your first priority? Is it Africa as a continent, or is it your own specific country?
It's my own specific country. I want South Africa to gain more power on the continent and control many African countries.
Okay. Okay.
Honestly, I don't care much about the continent other than gaining more power, because if we're going to stay in South Africa, we cannot control any other place. We're not that powerful, but the only growth we can gain is to exert our strength on other African countries and rise from there. Other than,
are you talking about economic power? Because me, I focus mostly on the economic power. Any other thing, I don't know.
Economic power, gaining the resources across the continent, which is the resources that are currently going out. I want my country to utilize the most resources on the continent for itself to grow, especially looking at the military. I don't know how we're going to do that, but I hope we can grow militarily and economically. The only way we can do that, I see it on the continent. I don't think there's any region where we can get resources or even do anything other than the continent. And at the moment, we can't do that because the West has got so much. The West is holding the continent so much. The West runs deep on the continent. So Biden distracting USA, starting all these wars, it's good for us on the continent to achieve our agenda. That's if our leaders are working on that as well. My leaders in South Africa.
So, okay. I mean, I can't fault you for it, right? Like, I mean, God, I'm American. Obviously, like, I care about America before anybody else. It just kind of is the thing that is.
Look, the African countries are not going to rise anytime soon. I mean, you have to understand that there's nothing we can do for countries like Burundi at the moment. There's certain countries we have to let them go, like, be ignored for now. But the strongest countries in Africa needs to keep rising. You look at all the continents across the globe. It was regional growth. You look at the West. It was Germany and Britain, UK, and France, at least for the past few centuries, gaining more power across Europe and suppressing
now
European states.
The most powerful country.
What, Kaizo?
Even now, Germany, France, and UK are still the most powerful countries.
Exactly. It's not like the entire Europe, it's on the equal position. So the countries that have already been established as empires for quite centuries, they've always maintained that position. And I look at South Africa as a country that can at least take lead in the front doing that across the continent. We need to get the resources that are leaving the continent, at least to some countries in Africa that are willing to build themselves up and secure the continent. This notion that we're all gonna rise at the same time and secure the continent is not gonna happen. There's countries that we know we cannot save.
For Africa to develop faster, since we still have all these smaller countries who doesn't have the leverage to negotiate with countries like the United States, I think we should form like a bloc. So whenever we want to, like something like the EU, whereby they make deal as a bloc instead of each country going to the United States to make a deal. You understand?
That's not going to happen. Nigeria first. That's not going to happen. I used to think that's possible. I mean, you look at how South Africa moves, how Kenya moves, how Nigeria moves, how Egypt moves, how DRC moves. These are 5 regional powerhouses. It's not going to happen.
But
it's just
okay. For example, it can be done in your region, which is it not SADC you call it?
Yeah.
You guys.
But I want more than SADC.
To make these at once, like you unite together whenever you want to make a deal, will be like a group kind of deal instead of Botswana going to make deal with America, South Africa go there, Mozambique.
Yeah, for me, it's like this. Nigeria first. If South Africa can get a way to install its own puppet leaders in these small countries like Botswana, where we remove leaders that are selling out, we install our own puppet leaders that. We even secure the security, the intelligence. It's owned by South Africa. That's what we need to do. Other than that, Botswana is gonna keep doing what they're gonna do. Namibia will do what Namibia needs to do. Zambia will. The next thing they sitting with China, we're moving there. The next thing they sitting with USA. It's not gonna work. So what can happen is that if we can buy out this president and put our own puppets there, because that's what everyone does. All these powerful countries, that's what they do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me go around the panel. Also, Josh, it'd be good if you join us in the next right now 8, 9, 10, 11. In the next 3 hours and 30 minutes. There's a stream there on the same topic on a different channel. It's a weekly thing, and would like to have your commentary since you're the highest IQ person here, apart from my left toe. But yeah, I have a question for the I have a question for the panelists, right? So I'll start with Nigerian first, and we'll go Josh, and then we'll go back to the South African, right? Trump, right? Trump called Africa shithole countries, and he's right. Most countries in Africa are shithole. That's true. Literally, even the toilets. Lozi, in your country, do you guys have these little holes that you shit in?
Yeah, the I think
right? China has it.
Yeah, it's real big in Asia, actually in the Middle East as well. Yeah, no, we don't have the floor toilet, the one you squat over.
Yep. Those are literally shitholes. So Lozi, in your country, do you have shitholes?
Yeah, like the rural toilets where like they still have got like the old. It's a lot, man. South Africa is not a developed country, man. We have a lot of work to do, man.
Okay, Nigeria first. Do you have shitholes in your country?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So when Trump said Africa is a shithole countries, he was right.
No, he was right. He was 100%. He was 100% correct. I mean, the fewer countries that are regarded doing well in Africa, even the countries that are said to be doing well, they still shithole. So there's really no hope at the moment. So Trump was 100% right.
And Josh, remember, right? Culturally, shitholes is not an African culture. You know, like how Asia, these people like to squat even when they eat. That's their culture, but that's not an African culture.
It does. Any of that doesn't matter. What matters now is that Asia has progressed far better than us. They're actually competing with the West at the moment.
Okay, that's generally a good point. I think yes, more Asian countries are doing well than us. You're right. Asia still shithole.
There's a weird thing about how Asia got as good as it did. Like you could sit here and say like, oh well, Taiwan with like the chip system and things like that. You could say like China manufacturing, like say factory jobs, right? But Asia pretty much grew based on exploiting their own labor. Obviously, the rest of the world needs cheap labor. They just said they're going to do it. Would you be willing to say that like Africa might actually try to do the same thing?
No, Africa won't be able to do that. Asia was able to do that because you still need to organize yourself if you want to exploit your own labor, your own people. Africa is not even organized to be able to exploit its own people. We only have got leaders who are like cockroaches who are stealing. That's all. That is all what is happening in Africa. We're not even organized to exploit our own people. That's how bad it is.
Help me.
Right.
The people aren't organized, and they select leaders that I guess apparently don't do the things they want them to do.
The African people are like their own leaders. The leadership you see in Africa really reflects the average citizen. So it's low IQ. It's nothing really happening. We're not even organized. We are really, really behind. And I'm talking about mentality, the culture. We're just not fit to compete at the moment. I don't know which solution might have to come, or it might require a miracle to actually liberate ourselves. I don't know what it will take, because I can't say Africans are not suffering enough to want to liberate themselves. I don't know. Maybe we are just used to suffering. I don't know. But we're not even organized to exploit our own selves. We cannot even do that.
And also, I have a question for you, Josh. Right? If you notice generally, right, the panelists here, generally speaking, seem to be well versed in certain things compared to certain white trash places. I'm not going to mention them, right? So why do you think Africa is really backwards if you have Africans with an IQ at least the same size as a toothpick?
Actually, I'm kind of shocked. Within your community, I've actually had conversations with people. I mean, even the ones that I kind of politically agree with or politically disagree with seem to comprehend their own problems, right? Like they seem to figure it out. I don't actually consider them a bunch of dumb spear chuckers or whatever the slang term is, right? I guess it's going to boil down to individual interest, right? Like generally speaking, if you can't get like 60% of your population to trust each other enough to like invest in each other in real simplistic terms, like not fighting over some thing long enough to get something done, that would seem like a bigger problem than anything else I could think of. So like if I had to put my finger on like what would be the problem.
So basically hyper individualism, which is something I've noted, right? In Africa, we have this fake idea that we are collectivists. However, we're actually not. We're the complete opposite, right? We are hyper individualists, which comes from tribalism. So if you think about it, right, the West, through whether it's through evolution or through nation state creation, it is irrelevant, right? But the West is generally a nation state sort of level of abstraction, right? I'm French, I'm British, I'm American. In Africa, we're still very much tribalists. So when you look at that sort of aspect, tribalism is much closer to individualism than nationalism, which you find all over the West. So yeah, I agree with you. It's much easier to corrupt us at a very basic level, which is probably why a lot of our leaders are puppets compared to places like America. And again, there's other reasons why America, is where it is, right?
Oh,
yeah. The problem, guys, just to add to what the brother is asking when he says is like Asia. He was right about Asia. Asia exploited its own people, but in the process of that exploitation, they managed to acquire more skills because much of these industries moved to Asia. So there was also a willing to exchange and trade from the West. I don't know why they can't do that for Africa, but I don't think they should do that. What we need to find is our own solutions on the continent. And the sad story is this. You look at even the basic things that...
Hang on. Wait 1 second.
Let me say this, guys. Let me say this. You look at the Chinese when they do projects, even when we've got an opportunity where we can exploit our own people and they can be the ones doing the work there, the Chinese still send their own prisoners to actually do the most basic work. So when are we not even organized to do the most basic exploitation to give our people skills? We're really in a position where we're not organized, and this because the Indians, bro, are doing all the construction works across the continent. You ask yourself, why are we trusting the Indians? Because not even India is that developed. Why is it?
Yeah, so Lozi, let me respond to your question, and we'll let Mike TV come through, right? I've lived in Africa for at least 2 years, right? I mean, I lived there for like another 7 years, whatever, but I've lived here at least 2 years consecutively in the recent time frame, right? AKA 2 years ago. What I've noticed is that we are probably one of the most redundant civilized people, right? I'm not comparing us to, the uncivilized tribe in Amazon or, I don't know, Jakarta or whatever. It doesn't matter, right? If you compare Africans to the civilized nations, we are perhaps the most redundant ones. And I say that simply because of the facts that we're the most wasteful people, right? It is what it is, right? We're wasteful, Lozi. We don't understand how materials work. We don't understand how the economy works. We don't understand any of these.
We're not efficient with resources. We cannot even utilize resources. That's the difference from us and the rest of other cultures.
That's it.
And you look at Europeans, they come from scarcity. Maybe that's why they can utilize resources and be efficient with them. I don't know, man. I'm just saying. We are really...
Yes, exactly, right?
I kind of got to ask, right?
Go ahead.
Because there's a slight... Okay, there's something I'm not understanding. So, like, I get the concept of, like, promoting education to, I don't know, focus on economy, like, say, banking or stuff like that. But that's not going to be where the money starts from. It's going to be from, like, infrastructure. So the skill set would be what you'd want to push. Like,
okay, so Josh, let me give context, right? Because I know Americans, and I don't want to come for you, right? Because you're one of my smarter Americans. But we're not talking about the shithole countries like Niger or Mali or Burkina Faso, but countries like Kenya, South Africa, Botswana, Namibia. These countries have 90% literacy rates. So education is not really our problem right now. You're right. The other shithole countries, 100%. But our issue right now with the let's say the non-shithole countries is resource management. We don't understand what a resource is, Josh, right? We don't know how to use them, how to appropriate things correctly. It's just redundant. Okay, let me give an example. And you're right. I don't know if it was you or.
Can I ask you a question,
I think
Kaizo?
just 1 second, then you can, yeah. And I think you are right, Josh. It's infrastructure, right? Like right now, if you go to any of these even good African countries, minus maybe South Africa, you want to go renew your passport. You have to do your whole biometric things again because they don't have the infrastructure to store the data. So you are right. A lot of the yes,
But you guys-
we don't actually have it. That's why
Wait, you guys don't have like decent data centers?
we don't know. That's the point.
Oh,
Everything is redundant. We just do things over and over again. Data can't be stored. Everything is it's not digitized. For example, my ex-girlfriend, right? Or actually my ex-wife, right? She studied at university a course called medical record keeping. There's a literally university degree called records keeping.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to digitize things, right? Like I'm just saying in the West, a degree wouldn't be quite that specific, right? Because it is a very African problem. So yeah, we don't really have data centers, and when it comes to information keeping, we don't have data, right?
On that point, I gotta ask now because this is a problem even we had.
Can I ask my question yet, Kaizo? I gotta run soon,
Yeah.
so you know.
Well,
go jump in there, Mike.
Let
You take
Max go ahead.
So, just playing devil's advocate, when Kaizo says that Africans don't know how to utilize resources, how and why would we expect Africans to know that? Because from my understanding, before Africans were heavily influenced by European culture and economy, you guys did utilize resources. You had vast empires, you had different kingdoms, you had your wars, you had your wins, you had your losses. But in modern day, you seem to be playing in a system that's foreign to you, that's innately foreign to you. So how are you guys supposed to know how to utilize these resources and, be successful leaders on a geopolitical level if the rules have kind of been rigged against you and this is a game that really isn't something that you are used to playing?
Damn,
Okay, good question.
that was a really good question.
Yeah. So let me give you more context, Mike, right? Another issue that we suffer from is obviously nepotism. We have incompetent people at levels with power. I remember, right? I had issues with my ID and registration. I went to someone that was supposed to help me. Now, instead of that guy helping me, this guy is talking to me like I'm a retard, telling me, well, firstly, you need to go to that place, get this thing, then that thing. I was like, but I've already done it. The guy just ignored me. And I know he ignored me because he doesn't understand how the system works. He's looking at it from this is how it should work, rather than it didn't work, how can he help me? So we have basically incompetent people at multiple levels in government. So what that basically, and again, I know why they're there, because they're loyal. They're loyal to the people that put them there, right?
See,
and loyalty.
Here's my thing, Kaizo. You're still talking about the problems present day, but if we peel back the layers and see what's behind that, we get to the root. I mean, I'm an American Indian, and we have tribes that have been infiltrated. We have tribes that have been co-opted and are not doing things properly. And if you look back to the reasoning behind that, you can see that perhaps they lost the battle and were subject to, adopting constitutions or customs that their oppressors forced on them. Yeah. So when we talk about Africa, again, if I'm just going to play devil's advocate here today, did you guys not have revolutionary movements that were quelled?
Yeah.
Did you not have leaders that were assassinated by European?
Just before you answer, one second.
MI6 and James Bond not run amok in your country and exploit your diamonds and everything you have?
You are correct. So, Lozy, let me answer first and you can answer, right? In the shithole countries, you'll be 100% correct. But there's no reason why that's the case for countries like Kenya, South Africa, Namibia, Botswana. These countries are functionally different than the other countries. Go ahead, Lozy.
Let's be honest. Even this country is my country, your country. Nigeria, first country. These countries are what they are because of the same colonizers. And the shithole countries, we call them shitholes, they are what they are because of same colonizers. So what I'm saying is that, to answer you, Mike, there was never really the empires as we like to exaggerate them online. Africa is like the South, it's like America. Historically, America is a shithole because the tribes, the colony built shit as well. So you can check the empires; they do have empires there and now, but these were like mediocre empires.
You said America is a shithole.
I mean, the big Americans are the biggest losers in this because they've lost so many people. The colonizers did numbers in America more than even in Africa. So let's stick to the topic of the empires. These empires.
Wait, how did the colonial empires do more damage in America than Africa if Africa has a significantly larger population than America?
No, Mike. You look at Africa. Could be because of weather. I don't know. The colonizers.
I just want you to qualify that statement.
America,
you said that the colonizers did America even worse than Africa, but yes, that's you guys got transported across the transatlantic to work in plantations in the Caribbean and Brazil and all over. So
listen to what I'm saying.
Are you talking about?
The settler colony was more in the north, in America more than in Africa. So they were willing to settle. And the settlers colony, what the colonizer, what they did, they will fetch slaves from another region.
Does anybody here agree with his statement that Africa got it easy compared to America?
The American tribes are nowhere, brother. They eliminated most tribes. Africa is a different story.
What are you talking about? They eliminated most. You don't know anything about American Indian history, so I don't know why you feel that you need to speak on it. Just as I wouldn't speak about what went on with your tribes.
I'm correct.
And the state and condition of your tribes, because I don't even know the name of your fucking tribe. You're gonna sit up here and fix your bush baby mush mouth to try to speak on American Indian tribes, and I bet you can't even name one. Hey, name a tribe.
Yeah, but you don't need to get emotional. What I'm saying,
name a tribe, Lozy. I'm not getting emotional. I'm applying pressure to you. I'm assaulting not you, but your talking points, your bullshit rhetoric, because you're speaking like you know something when you really know nothing at all. So I'm going to challenge you to do this. Name one Native American tribe. Name one.
Look at Canada and USA.
Name one Native American tribe.
You see, I cannot fall into this kind of.
You're claiming to be able to successfully juxtapose the oppression that Native Americans face versus Africans, and you can't even name one Native American tribe.
Look, I said what I said about Africa.
Name one Native. Hey, I'm just curious if you can name one Native American tribe. I can name African tribes, the Igbo tribe, the Hausa, right? Can you name a single Native American tribe?
So that we can never balance. I need to respond.
All right. Listen, Ola's here now. Ola always brings me humor. I want to hear what Ola has to say, since this dumbass can't even name a single tribe, but he's going to speak about the Native Americans got it worse than the Africans, and you guys got transported across the transatlantic. Put in the bellies of ships. What are you talking about? Your own people sold your own people to Europeans for fucking beer, mirrors, and muskets to be transported across the transatlantic. Many Africans are in South America, in Brazil to this day. Many of you guys got shipped to the Caribbean, to Jamaica. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? The Native Americans got it worse than Africans. Damn, that's cold. That's a cold game. I wonder if your tribe was enslavers. I wonder if your tribe got sold or if your tribe did the selling.
Dude, my tribe.
And I wonder if you live in Africa or if you live in Europe.
My tribe defeated the British militaries. What are you talking about? My tribe defeated British militaries many times. What I'm saying is the amount of tribes that got eliminated in the USA. That's all I'm saying. Why you got so much emotion?
Because you don't know what you're talking about. You can't qualify that statement. You said that American Indian tribes got done worse than African tribes, and that's totally false. Everybody knows it.
No, man. What I'm saying is that
is there anybody on the panel that honestly thinks that Native Americans got it worse than Africans?
How do you think the American Empire was built, brother? Like, and the Canada is a country, USA, Canada. And many Latin South America.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the other panel members. I'm not sure if they're asleep, but I'm just curious as to if anybody else agrees that Native Americans got it worse than Africans.
I wouldn't be able to quantify it because I don't know enough about the
amount of tribes that got eliminated through the colonization of USA.
I'm just saying, look at the current condition of Native Americans today and look at the current condition of Africans, and you tell me who had it worse. Riddle me that.
Kaizo, how many of you here knows the American tribes in the North America? Do you guys even ever see them?
I know some. I know Cherokee.
Yeah. Of course.
Damn, at least Kaizo can name a tribe. I guess he's more educated on the subject than you, dummy.
Look, Mike, I've got nothing against your people. I'm just saying.
I've got nothing against your people. I just have to correct you when you speak mistruths. When you're up here speaking mistruths about my people, I can't be idle. I can't remain silent about that. Just as if you wouldn't remain silent if I was speaking mistruths about your people, right?
How many tribes they lost, got wiped out in North America alone? Mike, I'm asking you a question. How
What do
many
you mean by wiped out? Are you talking about like killed and there's no such thing of them anymore? There's no descendants, they're just wiped off the face of the earth. What are you talking about?
Probably maybe left with very few. That's all I'm saying.
You have no idea what you're talking about. You're spectating on Native American history and you're a whole entire African. This is baffling. This is baffling. There was over and listen, hush bush baby, I will educate you since you're asking about the tribes, right?
Yeah.
Listen here.
Yeah,
There were over 1,000 tribes in North America. Out of those about 1,000 tribes, there are about 500 to 600 that are federally recognized by the government, meaning they have sovereign land, they have sovereign citizenship, they have federal benefits, they have their own governmental structure, etc., etc., etc. And some of those tribes even have casinos and are doing very, very well for themselves. Now, there are some tribes that aren't recognized at the federal level, and they're just recognized at the state level. And there's some tribes that are not state or federally recognized at all, but there aren't tribes that just got completely wiped off the face of the earth. So I don't know what you're talking about. King Leopold did a number on you Africans, and he didn't completely wipe you out, right? Has any European completely wiped an African tribe off the map? Yes or no?
Please. If you claim to be
I'm asking you a very specific question. Listen here, listen. I'm asking you a very, very specific question. Has any European power been able to successfully kill off an entire African tribe?
That's not the point.
No, it is a point. It absolutely is the point, because you're making the claim that Europeans were able to totally wipe out Native American tribes. And I'm wondering if you would think the same is true for you Africans, since we know the Europeans did a number over there in Africa.
Africa is 1.4 billion people today, blacks, Africans.
Hey, since Kaizo's the only one that's educated on this on the panel, Kaizo, have any European powers successfully wiped out any entire nation or tribe or ethnic group of Africans?
Obviously not. That's
I'm asking Kaizo. I'm not asking you.
It's no the amount. Lord,
I can't hear Kaizo because you keep babbling. What's that,
Kaizo? The Europeans they were not fully present on the ground. There's maybe countries like
Mike,
Zimbabwe.
Not yet. The Germans tried it with the Herero and the Nama in that Southern Africa, but they couldn't do it. They're still there.
So if the Europeans can't successfully wipe out an entire tribe or group of Africans, and we know what people like King Leopold did, and the millions he killed, right? Then why does this African man think that the Europeans would be able to successfully wipe out an entire nation of people?
You can almost see all kind of Africans today. Everybody knows them. How come we don't really see the North American tribes? We barely see them.
Sir, you're in Africa. Where do you want to see them? Do you want to see a documentary? Do you want to see a sitcom? Do you want to see a TV show? What are you talking about? You don't see them.
I see white Americans every day. I see black Americans.
What are you talking about?
I see Mexicans every day.
Sir. I am going to educate you on something. These Native Americans that you claim you don't see. Hold on. I would love to hear from you. I just have one last statement to make, and then Ola can jump on in, okay? These Native Americans that you claim you don't see, you actually mimic them. You actually worship them. And don't interrupt me. And they are mimicked, and their culture is exported across the world. You may not realize, but many of these people that are Native Americans have been reclassified as Negro, mulatto, freedman, Black American. So when we talk about people like Michael Jackson, one of the most famous artists in the entire fucking world, his father was a Cherokee Indian and his mother was a Blackfoot. When we talk about people like Martin Luther King Jr., his wife, Coretta Scott King, was a Native American. When we talk about civil rights and people like Mildred Loving and Loving versus Virginia, that was a 100% Virginia Native American woman that got the laws changed. So what are you talking about? Lena Horne, Native American. James Earl Jones, Native American. Rosa Parks, Native American. James Brown, the godfather of fucking soul, James Brown, Native American heritage, dummy. Beyonce and Solange, Native American heritage, dummy. What are you talking about? Tiger Woods, Native American heritage, dummy. Jimi Hendrix.
You are
Mike is
The
correct,
list
saying,
Mike.
goes on and
he's telling
on.
us
What are you
his,
talking
he's
about?
telling
Oh,
us
I don't really
he's
see
telling
these
us
tribes. I don't really see these Native Americans. These Native Americans are mocked and mimicked by you Bush babies daily.
All right,
Come
Mike.
on,
I
Native
agree
Black
with you.
Americans are hiding in
Okay,
plain sight.
let's go
Play
back
with
to
me
the
if you want
topic.
to.
I agree with
Okay.
you, Mike. Let's go back to
Okay,
the topic. You're 100% correct.
Play with me if you want to. The most famous people that you know and mock and revere and admire that you call Black Americans
Okay,
have
Mike,
indigenous
why are you so
Aboriginal
touched by this,
heritage.
man?
Prove me wrong on that fact. I dare you. I dare you to try
Okay,
to prove
all
me
right.
wrong because they call
Okay,
me
I'm
the
not
king of
trying to prove.
receipts.
I'm not trying to prove you wrong. You're probably correct. Let's move on. I agree with you.
Yeah, he wants to get past that real quick. Okay.
I think
I allow
Mike,
you
let
to
me tell
wave
you,
the white
I've
flag.
been
You get
saying
to live
this.
another day.
I've been saying this for a very long time. The people that Lazo always aligned himself to in some of these partners, it's even Lazo is even part of the whole problem to Africa problem. He is telling the truth that those people that you align yourself to, right? That's why he's calling you Bush baby. That from Africa. I don't know where you're from. Zulu, where you from? I don't know where you're from.
You are not just Bush baby. The West African is Bush baby. The South African is colored baby. The East African is cousin baby. And the North African is Arab baby.
Stop it, man.
I got names for all you Africans.
Okay, all right. Let's go back to the topic, guys, because the emotions are running high now.
Oh no, Mike, you see what he and I understand about you. You're right. You're pretty right. You're pretty correct about this. Your people. That's why something always says something. You see, these people that call themselves Black Americans that's always in these places trying to tell us about West African slavery. I said, no. You people are not. You people are Blackfoot Indians. Go and recognize yourself. Lazo, you start. If I see you in any part again, you said, oh, you people understand with Black America, you people feed them. No. He's telling you they're India now. Mm-hmm. South Africa problem is Africa problem. South Africa problem is South Africa problem. You have Zulus there. There's Africans, that sub-Saharan Africans. You need to now, as of today, support yourself. Even those Black Americans that in Africa, we need to test their DNA really. Are they really Africans? Or they undercover agent of something else? You understand? Because sometimes
what did Black Americans do to you, man? What did you experience?
What he's telling to you right now that they are Indians, and I'm not from the United States. He's United States.
Mike is one man. I can't. That's Mike, man. That's not the entire population, man.
No, you have to take him serious because he's pissed right there, calling you South Africa Bush baby and everything. You know,
man. For me, that means nothing. I'm not a Bush baby. I know that means nothing to me because I know I'm not a Bush baby. Why would I be emotional about that?
No, because
let's go back to the topic.
These Indians that came to these American Indians that came to Africa and start running around like brother.
No, man, I don't need to be reactive to anything that anyone says. Let's go back to the main topic. Call me Bush baby. Let's just go back to the main topic.
That power what? ADOS, those undercover descendants of slaves. No, there should be descendants of Indian slaves.
Okay, Mike, what do you Mike?
No, wait, hold on. Time out. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Ola, I appreciate your comments. I agree with you wholeheartedly, my brother. But I have to correct you on something. When they say American descendants of slaves, you're right. A lot of them were slaves to the Indians, to the 5 civilized tribes. And those slaves, when they were free, they were called freedmen, right? And when we talk about American descendants of slaves, that does not mean African slaves. The official narrative is that only 4% of Africans went to North America as slaves. And as far as what that 4% represents, it's up for debate. Historians have said that number is as low as 92,000 slaves. I've seen some people say the number is as high as 300,000 slaves. But what we know for a fact is that the majority of African slaves trafficked during the transatlantic slave trade did not go to North America. They went to the Caribbean, they went to South America, Brazil, etc. And not only that, But we know for a fact that over 300,000 European slaves went to the American colonies working on plantations. So when we say we are descendants of slaves, we are descendants of slaves, but only a tiny, small, little percentage of those slaves were from Africa. The vast majority were Black Indians reclassified as African, Negro, mulatto, etc.
Okay, Mike, will you? Okay, Mike, when they're talking about this, I don't know this. This preparation you said they asked you for, right? You have to tell your people, right, that they should stop using African a part of the so-called they ship us.
Let's go back to the topic, man.
You have to talk about the Indians.
No. Time out. My people call me the king of receipts. Kaizo, can I please share this receipt? It's already in the backstage. It's already in the backstage, guys. Hold on, guys. Look. Hold on. One mic. This is just evidence. Time out. This is just evidence to back my claims that I just stated. Time out. Hold your tongue. Hold on.
I think
Look,
I need to
it says
now.
Virginia passed two acts.
Hold,
chill.
Chill.
Allow me to present my receipts. Guys, unmute this motherfucker.
You can claim whatever you want.
I don't care if I gotta hit the cash app. Guys, drop this motherfucker backstage. Drop this motherfucker backstage preemptively so I can. I'm in the cash app right now. This Bush baby got me fucked up. We over here standing on lineage. I'm presenting evidence in the court of public opinion, and this Bush baby got the nerve to interrupt my flow. Oh hell no. Kaizo, drop him backstage.
The good thing is that we are on social media, so you can say all kind of BS you want.
You better check your chat, Kaizo. You better check your notifications, Kaizo. You have the power to say because I already submitted it. I already submitted the Kaizo. Get him out of here. He has been colonized. I sent him elsewhere. My end says payment successful, Kaizo. Check your chat, goddammit. I want him gone.
How much did you send? Oh, okay.
$5.
5 minutes.
I don't care if that's 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Get rid of his ass.
Okay.
Get rid of him. Now, as I was saying, this is just a little evidence to support my claims because I don't expect you guys to just take my word for it. It says here that Virginia passed two acts in 1682 that combined Native Americans and Africans into one category as Negroes and other slaves. In 1699, slave law stipulated whippings and other forms of corporal punishment as the standard practice of dealing with slaves. That was the rule in Virginia. And if anybody knows American history,
to that. First of all,
time out. Don't interrupt me until I'm done. Now, anybody who knows American history knows that Virginia was the crowning jewel of the American colonies, and anything that happened in Virginia was going to spread throughout and be mimicked across the nation. Now, whoever wanted to cut in, go ahead. Let's see what you got to say.
Yeah, let me respond to that. First off, that this passage is not evidence or proof of anything. All it does is talk about a law that was passed. I'm not done. Yeah, I'm not done. Be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet, man. Be quiet, Mike. I'm not done. I'm not done. I let you ramble and talk. Now it's your turn to listen.
And like it doesn't really.
Hey, guys, you gotta mute him or something like that because he's not letting people respond.
Your people, and it's like a paper.
No, he's not letting people respond.
But like the fact it is a law means it is valid.
As soon as I respond, this guy starts yelling and screaming and deflecting, and he, you know what I mean. And the thing is that it doesn't prove anything. It's just talking about a law that categorized people, and then in the law it even says
put up my other receipt. I'm about to kill this two groups, motherfucker. Put up my other receipt. That's backstage.
That the two groups are different groups of people. They just combine them under one law.
Put up my receipt.
So again, nothing you're saying is actually based in fact. Yeah, get him out of here. Yeah,
he said the truth.
Might I say something?
Yeah, he a clown.
Americans have been deceiving us for a very long time. These are Indians.
He's a clown.
Can we go back to the topic?
Lives have been their ally for a very long time. Lives will be sympathizing with them, telling them, "Oh yeah, we feel you."
Hola. Not all Black Americans think the same way, man. Come on. Hold on. Let's go back to the main topic, man.
If you don't,
Hold on. I understand your frustrations now, but
no,
let's
no,
go
no.
back
I have
to
to
the
follow
main
this
topic,
guy.
man.
I have to you see when you see this guy, you follow him on this lane. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. You have to follow him on this lane. You're sure.
All right,
Say
hold on,
something.
hold on. All right, Ola, what do you think of Trump? What happened to Trump now? The Trump shooting. Can you just give us your input on that, Ola?
What are you
You
talking
thought
to
you
me?
was gonna stop me with a little funky fucking $20? Kaizo, tell me the rules. It was 20 to bring me back, right, Kaizo?
Or
Kaizo,
Yeah.
it was 20 to bring
It
me
was,
back, right?
Yeah.
So with my extra, I want Pink Belly kicked off, and whoever is the new person, I want them kicked off. And I want you to bring up my receipt that's backstage.
Let's have
Kick off Pink Belly and kick off the new guy who got an all black logo with a little bit of red.
Wait, who's Pink Belly?
Pink Belly is this ignorant ass white boy up here who has a bull logo because he knows his ancestors be fucking cows and shit.
Okay, so
Yeah. Put Pink Belly
you're off
backstage.
for 20
Now-
minutes, Shadow.
Now here's where I really kill him with receipts because this European want to come up here trying to talk some bullshit while I'm standing on lineage. These Europeans want to front and act like they're descendants of explorers and immigrants that came through Ellis Island. Nah, let's take a little journey through history. This excerpt is from a book called White Cargo: Europeans' Forgotten Slaves in America. It says the forgotten story of thousands of white Britons who lived and died in bondage in Britain's American colonies. In the 17th and 18th centuries, more than 300,000 white people were shipped to America as slaves. Urchins. What's an urchin, guys? An urchin is a poor homeless kid. Think Orphan Annie. Think chimney sweepers in London, right? Urchins were swept up from London streets to labor in tobacco fields, where life expectancy was no more than 2 years. Yeah, they was kidnapping children, human trafficking, and sending them to fucking tobacco plantations. But you white Europeans in America don't want to talk about this history, don't you? It says brothels, aka whorehouses, were raided to provide breeders for Virginia. So the next time one of these white broads or these pink belly dudes want to talk about their history as if they were just some immigrants coming to America, no, your mother was a whore in London who got kidnapped and sent to Virginia to be a fucking breeder, you dumbass pink belly retard. Hopeful migrants were duped into signing as indentured servants, unaware they would become personal property who can be bought, sold, and even gambled away. Transported convicts were paraded for sale like livestock. And guess what? When that European boy comes back, he ain't gonna share his screen and show a single fucking receipt. He just gonna get up here and babble. Oh, white supremacist talking points face ass bitch made nigga. Let's talk about it.
Damn, shots fired. Let me just shout out to the Super Chats quick. We got some heavy hitters. We got Rose of Ma'afa. Shout out to you for starting us off. Black American there with the $10. We got Mike TV for the $5. We got PCH Rides there. Another Black American getting rid of Mike TV, saying get rid of this lying Mike TV LGBTQ guy. Then Mike TV got himself back on the platform and also kicked out the pink belly over there. So shout out to you guys. Make sure you support the show. If you don't like someone in the show, you know what to do. So we got a new yes, we got a couple new people. We got Principe. I want you to go next. Then we got King Genocide, and we got Isaac. I got again.
I want to know if Ola knew that there was white slaves in America.
Okay, we'll go that. Let's go Principe first. Yeah, go ahead, Principe.
Well, I think a lot of us know about the white slaves. They were referred to as indentured servants in history books. Also, I heard your show before in which you talked about your own lineage and who your great-grandfather was, Mr. Mike. And you told us that your grandfather was one of these whites as well. Am I right?
That's a lie.
You said something about your grandfather married a native. And he was a poor white. Am I correct? From your show.
You're incorrect.
Okay, all right. And also on your show, I heard that you was talking about how certain Africans are classified as natives and natives classified as African. And you played a professor who was talking about mixture between Africans and natives. Am I correct?
I have no idea what you're referring to.
You don't listen to your own show? Am I confused or what?
It sounds like you're spreading rumors mixed with misinformation. Again, I don't know what you're referring to. You're going to have to be more specific. Or what you can do, since everybody can share their screen here, you can share your screen and pull up that video I did where I spoke about this. Back
I
your
don't listen to your show
claims.
consistently, man. All right, all right. But your show was a professor, if you remember, and you was a professor talking about native
Sir,
The
I do
African
40
relations to the
hours of
natives.
live content a week. I don't know what you're talking about. I react to many professors. Why don't you get to your point? It seems like there's kind of a point you're trying to get to, right?
No, I was asking you a question regarding your own content, dealing with your own topic.
Well, no. I want to see what point you're trying to get to. You say something about I have a white grandfather. Then you say something about a professor talking about Africans and natives. You just seem to be kind of all over the place. So if you were to say
No,
that
this
you
is
had a
based on
point
something
that
in
you're
your show.
trying to get to,
My
can you tie it all
overall
together?
point is, all right, let me tie this. Your overall point that even from your shows, the few shows that I heard, your proof of what you're talking about is tying the Africans to the native and the mixture between them to justify the connection between blacks and native. You don't
Okay,
talk about
how
how the
would I
natives were
ever
already
tie
here. You never talk
Africans to
about the native.
natives? Explain to me the African native connection. I know that there is a African native connection, but since you claim to watch my content and you claim to be asserting all these
I see a
things,
few.
what do you think I think about an African and native connection? Go ahead.
Well, you use. Well, based on what you say is basically the natives. There's something called the native black, and then there's something called the African American black. Some of them mix with the native, but they're different entities. So, what is the culture of the native? You never talk about that. You always utilize the African connection to the native to justify the black presence in America. You never. So where's the native
Sir, you are
presence?
all
What is
over the
your proof?
place. I can share my screen again and I can show
Okay.
definitive evidence that there were black Native Americans in America before any slaves were brought to North America. So I don't know why
Can
you
you
think
provide
that
that?
I'm
Can you
hold
provide that
on,
proof real
time
quick?
out. I don't know why you
All
think
right.
that I'm having to tie Africans to natives to prove a point that black people are native. No, there's two different types of black natives. There's
Okay.
those that have no African admixture at all. And there's those that do descend from the 4% of slaves that came to North America, ran away from the plantation, was adopted and intermixed with indigenous tribes. And that's how they got their Native American heritage admixture. So there's some with African heritage, very few, a tiny percentage. And there's some who have black indigeneity with no African connection at all. So I don't know why that's a hard
So,
concept for you
so
to grasp.
what is the culture of the native that have no DNA at all of Africans? What are their connections to, or what is their culture? You never talk about that. You always talk about the ones that do have. That's what I'm trying to say. So you made a
Sir,
statement like Jimi
if you
Hendrix
want
has
me to give
African
you an
ancestry.
impromptu seminar on what the culture is of black Indians that have no African admixture at all, I can do that for you. Is that
Okay.
what you're requesting? It sounds like
No,
it.
but the people you're naming is like Jimi
Sir,
Hendrix.
it sounds like
the
you
people
want
like
me
Michael
to
Jackson.
educate you and give you an
Okay, go
impromptu
ahead.
seminar on the culture of black Indians that don't have any African admixture. Is that correct or is that
Absolutely. Yeah,
incorrect?
yes. You made that distinction, so verify it. Go ahead.
Okay, I verified everything that I've said up here today. I'll gladly do that. Give me like 60 seconds. I'll be right back.
Before then, let me go on. I think we start doing DNA with this black American coming to Africa and claim, oh, they're Indians. I believe Mike. I think Smokey Robinson also said it's not. They should not call him African American. It's an Indian guy. I think the Michael Jackson family. You see, they love Latinos a lot to marry, so you have to understand that the Indian blood rolling on them like that. James Brown hair is also different, also. You know,
The
so
thing
we
is,
need to test.
I was gonna say something.
No,
some of them purposely mix out and did it because even when some of them tell their story about originally when I was younger, some of the African Americans would tell you that their great great grandmother, one parent or one great grandpa parent was native. Now the story has changed. So they're talking about mixture. Any race that mixing.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yes. But see, let's be honest. The most hostile people to Africans are the blacks, which today I'm not calling them the black Indians. They're the far more hostile ones to Africans. Do you know why they're hostile? Because they're not from Africa, and they're from Africa, and people don't like it. If you come across them, they're very hostile. So we just have to know all those ones that come to collect passport in Sierra Leone, all those ones in Liberia called the American Liberians, and all those ones that come to South Africa now that claiming, oh, I love South Africa and they want to be buy property there. I think in South Africa, like people like the Laos, do have to start saying, oh, whoa, we need to see you are Indians now, because otherwise, this hostility towards Africans will not stop. People like the Tariq Rashid, who are undercover Indians, try to play Indian Africa Tanzania at one particular point. We have to claim your Indianness. That's just the truth. All today, native blacks, Indians are not black. They are not African Americans, and it just shows receipts. You understand me? If let's assume there's some Africans.
Hold on. So what you saying is we in the same family? So hold on. I'm a little bit misinformed. And
man, which family you talk about, man? When somebody from your community.
Okay. Thank you. No, all respect. All respect.
No, you're mixing
when he
things.
said
You're
no,
mixing
when that man said that we
family.
family, when he said we family, that's all I need to hear.
No, he's bringing a seat. The Haiti people, those Haiti people, those are the real family now, because you have to understand the hostility from the black Americans to Africans. There's reason why they're very hostile to the
Let me know when you guys are ready.
Hold on. You know the reason though.
Go Black India.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, and also, since I am, giving you guys my time, Kaizo, I'm not going to proceed if you let Chuckwu come up here with that clown shit. So let's keep things on topic. But Kaizo, also, this is not the first receipt I want to start with. I want to start with the black and white image that has 4 people on the front. So the first thing that you guys have to understand is the distinct, different motivation than mission that the Spanish had versus the British when they came to North America. Most people don't realize, but the British were the second to come. It was first the Spaniards. And when the Spaniards came to North America, they came to kill, butcher, rape, destroy, but most importantly, they came to steal the gold of the natives and take it back to Spain. When the British people came, they came for a completely different reason. They came here to try to colonize the land, to try to turn it into a new kingdom because they were fleeing oppression from Europe. So I say that to say this: the Spanish people had no reason to lie. They didn't need to lie to kick it. When they speak about being the first people to quote unquote explore North America, the New World, and when they speak about the indigenous people they say they saw Black Indians. We know that from times of ancient antiquity, we would always take a feminized, image of a woman, and that's what people would use to identify as their country, their people, their continent. This image is a little bit blurry, but on the top left, that's an ancient image of a representation of Africa. You see a native African woman, she's holding a bird. The top right is an Asian. The bottom left is a European. The bottom right is an American Indian. And if I zoom in on that, and Kaizo, if you can move the ticker at the bottom of the screen that's running along there, then you will see that this clearly says America, because this is the Spaniards' depiction of America. Black people, Black Aboriginals. In every piece of artwork, they even to this day have statues that cost $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 called cigar store Indian statues. And they're Black people. The Spaniards say on the East Coast, we saw Black Indians. On the West Coast, Black Indians. Down South, Midwest, Black Indians. This is what the Spanish people say out of their own mouths. Why do the Spanish people need to lie? Why would the Spanish people lie to Europe and claim that the natives are Black? They have no motivation for that. No motivation. And you see here, just like they did the Africans, right? We all know for a fact Napoleon or whoever shot off the nose of the Sphinx, right? And they went to the Egyptian hieroglyphs and lightened them up and turned them from black to orange, right? Well, they did the same thing to the natives over time. To the left is the original image. You see that's clearly a Black native. But to the right, they kind of make their race ambiguous. And this is something that the Europeans do because the Europeans want to hide the truth about who the natives are. Again, this is another image right here. This is Indians playing a game. Hold on. This is Indians playing a game at a California mission. If you guys know about the history of the California missions, they were built by the Spaniards. And here we have light-skinned Indians. We have dark-skinned, basically Black Indians. And we keep on going. This is a depiction of Virginia, Black Indians. And these are some more modern day images of what these Black Indians look like. But Kaizo, the next slide I want to share is the one right next to it. It looks like a passage. Yeah, that one.
Thank you.
So what people don't understand is that there's different ethnic groups of American Indians, just like Africa, right? Compare a South African to a North African. They're completely different complexion, completely different skin tone, different phenotype, everything. Compare an East African to a West African. They look like they're from a completely different planet. Am I right? And it's the same thing in North America. The main three different ethnic groups of American Indians, the first were the Anasazi, aka the Amerindian, aka the Negro people. These are the oldest, original, and largest population of over 500 million. And as a collective of people, they developed a culture and civilization called the North to Southeastern Mound Builders, or the Eastern Woodland Peoples. And then there's the Southwestern Plains Indians. These, although we still call them Aboriginal, although they're still classified as Native Americans, technically they're the first immigrants. These are those Asiatic-looking ones that came from the Bering Strait, from Siberia, Russia, Mongolia, etc. These are the Navajo tribe, the Pueblo tribe. These are the folks that look like this. It's a big difference between an Indian that looks like this, and Kaizo, if you can go to the other image of an Indian I got backstage. There's a big difference between an Asian Indian and an Indian that looks like this. Now, Kaizo, if you can go back to the other image. I know we're freestyling here. Thanks for bearing with me. There's a big difference between an Indian that looks like this. Come on, y'all. She looked like her mama European and her daddy Genghis Khan, right? It's a big difference between that and an Indian that looks like this. If you can go to the other one, Kaizo. Freestyle with me, my good African brother. Bam. Big difference. Different phenotype, different everything. Now, Kaizo, if you can go back to the other slide for me.
I could cam up and you be like, damn, this motherfucker is the real Indian looking guy.
Yeah. Stop interrupting as I give this seminar that was requested upon me. Now, some of the imagery that most of us associate with Native Americans are teepees, right? If you Google an image of a Native American teepee, this is what pops up. But this is not what Black Indians lived in. Black Indians never lived in teepees. The only tribes that lived in teepees were the Southwestern Plains Indians, the Mongol, Asian-looking ones. And coincidentally, if you look up what the indigenous living structures were in Siberia and Mongolia, this is what pops up.
You cooking.
So once again, coincidentally, the only Native American tribe that looks like Asians and live in teepees live in the same exact structure as native Siberians all the way over there on the other side of the world. All right. So at this point, most people ask, well, okay, Mike, if Black Indians didn't live in teepees, what did they live in, right? We lived in houses. That's right. They called them long houses, L-O-N-G, long houses. This is what the interior looks like. You'd have a fire in the middle, benches along the side, bunk beds lining the walls. They were called long houses because they were 80 feet long, 18 feet wide. And again, Mike, when they say that we are the mound builders, that we are the Eastern Woodland people, the mound builders, yes, let me share with you a little bit of the rich history of the mound builders. Kaizo, if you can pull up the video that's backstage.
They call them shotgun houses, and they still have them today. They still here in America today. Shotgun houses. We can see through the front. And
there we go, Kaizo. Thank you.
Africans and Native Americans said.
Let me rewind this a little bit because they're going to start off by citing a source.
In the Americas continuously for many thousands of years. Writer Jack Forbes, in his book, Africans and Native Americans.
The writer Jack Forbes wrote a book called Africans and Native Americans, and this is what he says in his book.
Said, many, but not all, Native Americans were brown.
Many, but not all, Native Americans were brown or dark colored without African ancestry. So again, when I say I'm up here proving the claim that there are Black Indians that have no African lineage at all, we're citing some sources here. Let's take a look at the mound builders.
Were dark-colored without African ancestry. These brown-skinned people lived here long before the dawn of European civilization and the arrival of the European settlers. When the Europeans arrived to the shores of the United States, they encountered a culture of people that became known as the mound builders. Mound builder is a general term.
We didn't live in no teepees. We lived in houses, like I said. And don't get it twisted. They call it a mound to try to diminish our accomplishments. This is a pyramid. The oldest pyramids are found in the Americas. There's more pyramid structures in the Americas than even Africa. The pyramids in America predate the African Egyptian pyramids by 7,000 to 8,000 years. We don't live in no teepees. We got civilizations. And hold on before you interrupt me. As you can see here, they got a staircase that's leading up. They got another platform pyramid structure on top of it with a house, with a pitched roof, with a chimney, with a door and a window. Come on, we ain't
That's
living
a
no teepees.
that's a pyramid structure. The architecture, even if you get the stones to build a pyramid, that shows you that. And there's been secret places that have been cut off as nature reserves here in America. One being the Grand Canyon, where they have the pyramids in our lineage in it. Keep going, Mike TV. Hey, salute to you. Hey, you joined through here. I appreciate you, brother.
Referring to the indigenous inhabitants of North America who built various styles of earthen mounds.
Look at this. We had vast civilization. These huge pyramid platform structures with the house on top. That's where they would have their ceremonies, their rituals. The next largest ones, this is where the leaders, the chiefs would live, and the normal tribes people live at ground level. But we didn't live in pyramids. We weren't living hand to mouth, nomadic, hunting and gathering. That's them Asiatic Southwestern Plains Indians that came over from Mongolia and Siberia.
But may I ask a question? What tribe is this?
Right now, they're not talking about a specific tribe. They're talking about a collection of people along the East Coast and the South that are known as the Mound Builders or the Eastern Woodland people. If we're going to put a tribe to it, many of these tribes that were in that area are like my tribe, the Muskogee Creek Nation, the Seminoles, the Choctaw, the Creek, the Iroquois Confederacy, which is actually a confederacy of several different tribes. So those are just,
Hold on. Can I
naming a
go
few.
to Matt? No bullshit. Cherokee, Blackfoot, which is in my bloodline, and not only African heritage and Bantu. So you know what I'm saying? Like I'm mixed, or you might call it mixed or whatever. But I admit that this ain't no one-sided argument. Listen. This ain't no one.
Do you have a card? Do you have a card to identify to say you are missed? Do you have a card? Can you prove like the way Mike TV is bringing proof?
No, Mike has a card. But may I ask Mike? He has a card. Yeah.
So you don't start deceiving us anymore. We now know the truth about let me put the so-called African Americans are not really African Americans. There's a bunch of Indians that try to claim something from Africa and
No. Hold on. Time out. Ola, if you can share the thing back there that says reclassify.
What about that?
Hold on. Real quick, we'll go. Ola made a point, so I want to just address Ola's point, and then whoever has a question can jump in. But Kaizo, there's something backstage. It's a black. No, it's black. That's all black. It's a black text. Yeah, right here. So Ola, it's not that Black Americans just wanted to all of a sudden cosplay Africans because we just like you so much. No, the British colonial powers, because they were actively trying to steal our land, they wanted to miseducate us and reclassify us as African. It says right here, as early as the 16th century, Virginia was making laws that combine Native Americans and Africans into one category as Negroes and other slaves. Kaizo, if you can share the other one that's also black. Not only that, but Walter Plecker, look him up. Walter Plecker in the 1930s, he made something called the Racial Integrity Act, where he reclassified most people that were claiming Indian identity as colored. And everybody knows that Black Americans basically went from Indian to colored, mulatto, negress,
you know what?
Black, African American. The misnomers just keep going. We're the only group of people in America that they rename every 20 to 30 years.
They reclassified us. They called us Black. They called us African Americans. And then in Africa, they don't even call. Let me say this. In Africa, I learned this. They don't even call themselves Africans. So how can we call ourselves Black Americans if the people we supposed to come from and that we already got here before Columbus? Our people got to Australia and America, besides Africa, in Asia, in Europe. There's people who have been identified, whether they identify with themselves as Black or not. They're a real tribe, whether you erase it or not. They're real people. And I spoke to these people. Hold on, let me finish. I spoke to these original groups of people. It's not mainstream. And I don't like this. It's kind of foreign to me too. I don't like expressing that I understand this, but I have to express I understand this. Honestly, we've been lied to. We are a people. They labeled us under a terminology amongst our tribalism, our gangs, our business, our dwellings. And these things in third. What's up with the unification? Now, the unification under the awakening, not being woke, which they changed rainbow into some letter thing, and then changed woke to being another thing. Now, the Great Awakening. See, they want to break the Great Awakening. See, now that you realize,
Was there someone who had a question for me?
No. I was not finished.
I got a dip soon, so I just want to make sure that I answer.
No, I'm not finished. Now that you realize that you are put amongst us in the same perspective, how do you act in the same team? You don't realize you're in the same team because you possibly scarred so much. Let us stop scarring us. Let's stop.
Yes, so guys, I got a dip. If there's anyone who has any questions before I go, let me know. But yeah, it's been real.
Hold up.
I have a question. Let me ask my question before you leave out.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, basically, the evidence you provided was talking about brown skin and dark skin, which if you go to India, there's also dark skin and brown skin. You go to the Philippines, there's also dark skin and brown skin. I was talking about directly related to native, but you didn't provide that. And my second question is, if you guys knew that you were
before
native,
you skip to a second question, what are you talking about with your first point? They're talking about brown, dark-skinned people that are not from Africa. I literally showed a half a dozen images of these Black Indian depictions. So what are you talking about?
No, but this talking about the skin tone doesn't show the connection to you. Like,
so
stuff like that.
First of all, it's not just a skin tone, dumb nigga. It's called a phenotype. So if they're talking about the phenotype, and if that phenotype matches the phenotype of Black Americans, then how are you going to say that that's not relative at all? And mind you, I wasn't even finished with my seminar that you impromptu requested of me. So, I mean, we're really getting ahead of ourselves. But guys, why is he trying to act like phenotype doesn't matter? Why is he trying to act like that Spaniards accounts going back from the 15th century as to what the Black Indians look like? Why is he acting like that don't matter? Like I didn't do something for the last 10 minutes. Like I didn't show nothing but receipts on receipts on receipts, and he still ain't shared his fucking screen once. So how about this? How about you hold your tongue and let me finish my little dissertation, and then you can try to challenge me with your bullshit rhetoric. How about that? Can I finish now?
All right, go ahead.
Oh, I appreciate that. How gracious of you. Kaizo, if you want to switch to the other one, it's a white one. It's the whole page is filled with text. Nope, it's another one. So again, let's get back to some of the accounts from the earliest quote unquote explorers from Europe to North America. And let's cite some sources too, why don't we? This book was written in 1826, and it reviews some of the journals of Torquemada and Vizcaino from, I think, as early as 1522. It's called The Philosophical and Antiquarian Aboriginal History of America. If anybody wants to screenshot that, jot that down, it's on the screen. It says here, though America possesses some dark brown men approaching to be Black, yet it has almost been universally believed that there were no Aboriginal Blacks or Negroes found on this continent. Oh yeah, let's read, y'all. Reading's fundamental. In plain English, they're saying, hey, there's dark brown people, there's Black people, but we don't think they Aboriginal. You know, we don't think they native. Now let's keep reading. It says, but from considering the peculiar circumstances under which a Black race was found in North America, I hold it more than probable that the common opinion is erroneous. Plain English now. Hey guys, we see dark brown people, we see Black people, but we don't really want to say they Aboriginal. But okay, we admit it. We found a whole Black race of them across North America, so we got to admit they Aboriginal. Now let's keep reading. Torquemada says the Californians showed no manner of surprise at the sight of some Negroes that accompanied Vizcaino on a voyage to this coast. Peep game, guys. We all know that Africans were the first to circumnavigate the globe, right? We all know Africans were coming to North America and trading with the natives back and forth since time immemorial, right? Well, that's why the Spaniards always took Moorish, Negro, Africans as their guides, as their servants when they wanted to go to North America. And it says here that Vizcaino took some Negroes with him, and when the California Indians saw these Negroes, they weren't surprised at the sight of a Negro. Hey, peep game guys. I watch a YouTube channel from this Russian chick. She's like a travel blogger, right? She went to a little village in Russia, and they were telling her that if they saw black people in 2024, if they saw black people, not that they'd be racist in this little village in Russia, but if they saw black people, they would be mystified. They would want to touch our hair. They would want to rub our skin to see if it was just paint on our skin, right? They would be mystified. We've never seen black people before. And this is 2024, little tribe in Russia. So why is it that in the 1500s, Visciano comes to the California coast with some Negroes, and these California Indians who are not Negro themselves, these are the light-skinned ones, right? They're not surprised at seeing Negroes. If we keep reading at the bottom, it says, when a Negro was ordered to distribute a biscuit to the Californians at the Bay of St. Barnabas, quote, the natives seemed greatly pleased at the sight of the Negro, and they signified to him that they lived in friendship and correspondence with the people of his color, and that not far from thence was a Negro village. So I dare somebody try to tell me that there aren't black Indians aboriginal to America that have no African admixture, when in the 1500s, the Spaniards come to North America, come to the California coast to be exact. They got some Negro Moorish travel companions. They send the Negro to the natives to break bread, give them a biscuit, show them we come in peace. The natives say, whoa, we excited Negroes. Hey, we got black friends. Matter of fact, we don't just got black friends. There's a whole Negro village down the way. Let me take you there. Now watch this. This is for all the naysayers. This is for all the detractors. This is for all the people that want to try to counter or be contrarian to this evidence. Torquemada himself is a European. He's a Spaniard, to be exact. He tries to explain this away. Peep game. Torquemada undertakes to explain this remarkable circumstance by supposing that Negroes had been left there by some ship from the Philippine Islands. So he comes up with a theory. Hey, you know what? Maybe these Negroes were just left here. They were some slaves from a previous Spanish expedition, and these slaves just got left here. So there's just a village of slaves from Spain, right? But as he does not quote the time when such an event had occurred, we presume it was a mere conjecture of his own to explain an anomaly of which he had been previously ignorant. And at first we were disposed to think the supposition plausible, but as it was found on extending our researches that the Negro character of the Indians on this coast has been distinctly remarked by various navigators, even of the present day, we deem it impossible that any few individuals who were probably without women with them when they left on the coast could have been able to communicate their peculiar complexion and features to entire nations, even after a period of above 200 years. Now let's decipher that in plain English. Torquemada's like, hey, there was a previous Spanish voyage, came from the Philippines, right? And I think that these were some slaves that the Spaniards left over here. But this other dude's like, whoa. Even if they were some slaves that were left here, they wouldn't have had no women with them. And even if they just start fucking all the native girls like jackrabbits, they would not be able to spread their seed across this entire nation of North America. And their English at the time, they say they were probably without women, and they would not have been able to communicate their peculiar complexion and features to entire nations. That means they would not be able to spread their seed and multiply, even after a period of 200 years. And at the bottom here, there's an asterisk. The asterisk says, one of the very first voyages to California was made by Cortez in 1535, who was accompanied by 400 Spaniards and 300 Negro slaves. He coasted both sides of the Gulf of California and returned safely to Acapulco. In this expedition, it's the earliest account that we have of Negroes have being sent to that part of America. But there's no reason to think that any of them were left on shore, as they were valuable property. So Torquemada's dumbass is trying to say maybe Cortez left some Negroes here. Hey, if they're your slaves, why are you just going to leave some Negro slaves that you paid for? That don't make no goddamn sense. They were valuable property. About 70 years after this voyage of Cortez, the voyage of Visciano described by Torquemada took place, apparently much too short of a time for Negro villages to have been built, with whose inhabitants the natives have formed leagues of friendship, even if it were proved, which it has not been, that such persons had been wrecked or left ashore by these periods of time. So again, he's saying, when they say, hey, maybe some Negro slaves were left over here, that was Cortez. Cortez journey in 1535. Torquemada came 70 years later. So he's like, even if Cortez left these slaves 70 years ago, it makes no sense how they would have a bond with all these other native tribes, how they would have so many different black native villages. It just don't make no sense. They have to be Aboriginal. There's no other rationale.
Excuse me, brother. Can we chime in too? I don't know. It's a debate or something, but can we?
No, it's not a debate. Someone asked me to give a seminar, aka a dissertation. So typically, there's not really a chime in. Maybe there's a Q&A at the end. But for you, go ahead and chime in. Let's see what you got.
Thank you very much. Let's take a little break and chime in. Yeah, I've been seeing your peace to everybody. I hope everybody's doing well today. Yeah, I've been seeing your some of your content for some weeks now. In general, I know your philosophy, and for me.
You said you do or you don't know my philosophy?
No, I do. Yeah, I know like your rationale and stuff like that, your opinions on things. And this,
And what do you know about my rationale?
You're saying that, like your rationale is that Black Americans were indigenous to the Americas, more or less, right?
That's not a robust view of it. More specifically, time out. I'll just clarify real quick, if I may. I can do it briefly.
Yeah.
My rationale is that over 99% of what we call modern day Black Americans have Aboriginal heritage. Either A, from the Black natives that have zero African admixture, or B, from the 4% of African slaves that came here, and after they were free, they mixed in with the indigenous tribes.
Okay,
that's it. That's all.
Yeah. I know. I already know. I'm already aware of that. But what I'm saying is that two things. I don't think it's politically. First of all, I'm not even disagreeing with you. You have to understand that a lot of Black folk we don't even pay attention to our civil rights history, our abolitionist history, and the history we recently created. So when it comes to all those stuff that happened, let's just say pre-independence and stuff like that, it's hitting us in the head like a ton of bricks. Like we really don't know. We have no imagination that something like that could even be possible. So I think.
You have no imagination that what would be possible?
We have no imagination that we were already here on the shores in the Americas. We already had established communities here. Like I'm saying, I agree with you on that. So
you can ask a question after he's finished.
After I finish, yeah, of course. But so this information is still it's like it's been out there a little bit. With some,
but it's very new and the general public has no access to it, right?
It's like completely new. It's gonna take quite a while before it's even becomes like a even debate or a conversation. So it's completely new. So I just want to say that as a side. But in terms of your philosophy and stuff, you're saying that the African American population is 99% indigenous to here, and then only 4% of it is African. Of course, I would disagree.
No. More specifically, I'm saying that over 99% of what we call Black Americans have Aboriginal heritage because the story goes, and this is just in history books, like you can look this up, don't take my word for it. They say only 4% of the African slaves trafficked during the transatlantic slave trade went to North America. And it's up for debate as to what that number represents. But on the lowest end of the spectrum, historians say that's about 92,000 slaves. On the higher end of the spectrum, they say it's about 300,000 slaves. Now let's play devil's advocate. Let's say 300,000 slaves came from Africa to North America. We have over 50 million Black Americans in America. That doesn't make no sense. You don't get over 50 million people from 300,000. And don't tell me nothing about, they was just making a lot of babies. No, the average life expectancy of a slave on a plantation was 31 years old. And we ain't even gonna count the lynchings and the murders. And sanitation was so bad at that time that even white women had to have a litter of children because they know 2 or 3 of them are gonna die at childbirth, right? Or not make it to the age of 3 years old. So how do we go, and again, playing devil's advocate, how do we go from 300,000 African slaves to over 50 million Black Americans in less than 400 years.
Yeah, no, that rationale is very, very flawed because, like, somebody you can have like let's just say like let's just say 4% of 4% of Hispanics are making the trip from Latin America to America, right? Let's just say let's just say it's 4%.
Wait, I'm confused. What?
You can say
Latins, Hispanics, what?
Yeah. You could just, like, if somebody was to say that 4% of Hispanics are living in
Sir, we're talking about population growth. You explained to us all how you can year over year go from 300,000 people to over 50 million people in under 400 years.
Hold on, Nigeria's population exploded, bro. Look up Nigeria's population.
Hold on, brother.
We're not talking about Nigeria. We're talking about North America, Playboy.
Let me make my point. You see the rationale.
The rate in which it increased is
this
greater
nigga really
than
just got in talking about Nigeria's population.
Hold on. I don't know what you're talking about. You got
population increase.
Hey, Kaizo, brother. Again, Kaizo, you did it again.
Hold on. So what I'm saying, that even though it's 4%, like 4% of Hispanics can be living.
Let's get away from the percentage. Let's talk to the actual numbers of slaves. They say 92,000 to 300,000. If we're going to go on the high end and say 300,000, then the figure you need to work with for your hypothesis is 300,000 slaves.
I am coming to that. You have to let me lay out what I'm saying, then you can respond.
Yeah, and there's another dude who said he had a question. I said I got to go 15 minutes ago. I mean, it's time is of the essence.
So, so even though if it's 4% of people coming to the States,
get away from 4%. 300,000 slaves.
Okay,
just say 300,000. Just go on a mental exercise with me and say 300,000.
Yeah,
African
even
slaves.
Even if it's 1%, it doesn't mean that.
Get away from the percentage. 300,000 African slaves. Come on.
Okay, even if it's still that, it doesn't mean that the majority of it doesn't mean that the majority of that population is not African, even if it's for the low percentage.
You're not making any sense. Get away from percentage and talk population numbers. Okay. How do you go from 300,000 people to over 50 million people in under 400 years? The math ain't mathin'. Not when the life expectancy is only 31 years old. Not when you're being killed and butchered and lynched and raped and beaten. Not when many mothers are losing their children at childbirth. No, it don't make no sense. Not when I have facts that I presented that shows that they reclassified Native Americans as African, Negro, and slave. So what are you arguing against?
I'm not denying that, but you're denying. But again, you're the one who brought up percentage, and a percentage, even if a percentage is low. If you check the
who was the dude who said he had a question? Honestly, with all due respect, good brother,
it can still be majority.
If we were on my platform, you wouldn't even be qualified to have this discussion with me. You would just have to stick to spectating in the chat. With all due respect, but since I'm here for a short amount of time, I know there was somebody else that had a question, maybe even a couple of questions. Does anybody else have questions for Mike?
Ask a question, please, before you leave.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because even the proof that you just provided was you even yourself personally tied in the Moorish and the seafarers. The story that you even presented is similar to the story of the Garifuna of South America, who still kept their culture. You didn't touch anything about culture. And two, Nigerian population exploded even greater than what African Americans population exploded to. And you got to remember,
what does Nigeria have to do with America? I'm confused.
Population size. You told me how is it even possible for 300,000 to become you said 40 million in the span of 100 years. And Nigeria's population exploded even greater in the span.
Why are you comparing a completely different people with a completely different genetic phenotype to American Indians? I don't understand that. Or even to African slaves. Hold on. You keep saying Nigeria, right? You keep saying Nigeria. I thought that the story is that these African slaves came from West Africa. I thought they came from the Gambia and Guinea-Bissau and Sierra Leone and Liberia area. Are you telling me you think that the 300,000 slaves specifically came from Nigeria and that's why they had a population boom? Is that your hypothesis?
No, that's not my I'm just trying to show you this. You told me that it is impossible.
Are you claiming that these 300,000 slaves, these 4% slaves came from Nigeria exclusively?
No. I'm just showing you the correlation of population growth. You say population growth is impossible for 300,000 to become 40 million. And I'm telling you, Nigeria was once 20 million or 30 million, now they're over 200
That's
million.
and that's
actually,
a valid
Kaizo,
example.
if you can highlight PCH Rides comment for me, I'd like to address PCH Rides if I can for a moment before I get out of here.
And can you tell us the
I'm not sure if
number?
Kaizo. Okay, there we go. So PCH Rise says that is a false premise. 400 years here and others migrated. How difficult is it to accept that our population is 50 million in 2024? Well, sir or ma'am, you have to actually look at the Bureau of Statistics. When I say 50 million Black Americans are in America present day, a majority of those are not immigrants. They say immigrants make up only 1 to 2% of the Black American population. So no, these are Black Americans, foundational, if you will, who've been here for several umpteen generations.
Yeah, but can you give
maybe
us
you
the
can
numbers,
you can call
though?
in.
You
I don't
haven't
know
given
why
us
you're
the
acting scared.
numbers
But was
as
there
well.
anybody else who had a question?
Yes.
My last
Can you give us?
question.
Can you give us?
Go ahead.
Yeah, can you give us the numbers on the population or the native Black population in Americas during that time period?
During what time period?
You said you gave the numbers for the ones that the Black people who were taken from Africa. You said it was around 4%. So what can you give us the stats on the numbers of what the native Black population was that eventually became what we have today? Like where we can look up those stats?
Yeah, excellent question. Kaizo, can you put up the black image? There's a black image on the screen. If you see it somewhere, black image. Hold on, actually, I don't have my screen working properly. Let me get back to the stream. Yeah, it's that one. It's that one. So his question, or really his counter to my claims, is, well, Mike, what are the records of the population of the Black Indians? Well, check this out. History is an interesting thing, right? Virginia passed 2 acts in 1682 that combined Native Americans and Africans into one category as Negroes and other slaves. And for the person who just asked me that question, I don't know what your name is. Can I please have your name so I can address you properly?
Let's go with Cyrus.
Surf? What?
Cyrus.
Oh, Cyrus. Okay. Right. Cyrus, do you know when the first U.S. Census was taken?
I'm not sure.
Do you have a guess?
I don't have any guess.
Come on. I'm giving you all these receipts. I'm giving you a little server dissertation. At least guess with me.
Most people in America can't even guess. I don't know.
Come on. Just give me, just throw out an educated guess. It don't matter if you're right. It don't matter if you're wrong.
I don't know. 1770. I don't know.
17. Hey, not too far off. See, you should have had more confidence in yourself. You should have believed. So again, Virginia passed 2 acts in 1682 reclassifying Native Americans, and the first U.S. Census began in 1790. So you're telling me 100 years before the first U.S. Census, they were misclassifying Black Indians? Because obviously, from this law being passed, we have no other conclusion, no other rational thought, but to say that these had to have been Black or melanated natives. Because how do you take pale skin or Asiatic looking natives and reclassify them as African, Negro, or other slave and put them on plantations? They must have melanin similar to how an African has melanin, right? Or do some of you think that they successfully reclassified white natives and yellow natives as African 100 years before the first census?
Can you give us a percentage on that? You still haven't given that yet.
You asked me for stats on the census of Black Indians, and I'm telling you that they were reclassifying Black Indians 100 years before they even came out with a first census. So it's impossible to give you that stat. They didn't even start taking a census until 100 years after this.
What was the population? What was the population of Black people in America at that time?
How is anybody going to give you a population number if they didn't start counting the American population until 1790? Do you not hear the words coming out of my mouth?
Right. I said in 1790, what was the population of Black people in America?
Oh my God. Why don't you Google it? And while you Google it, realize that those numbers are going to be false. You know that Black Indians were being reclassified 100 years before the first census even took place. Kaizo, can you share the other screen that's also black? Can you please share the other screen that's also black?
I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
To add insult to injury, Walter Plecker in 1930
does a racial integrity act where he reclassifies people who claim to be Indian. They're reclassifying them as colored. So why are you going to ask me what a census says if I have indisputable facts that they were fudging the identity of people before they even came up with the census and while they came up with the census?
So in one break you said that
that don't make no goddamn sense.
In one break you said
that
that
question before I get up out of here.
In one break you're saying that the stats are right when it comes to the Africans from Africa
This
taking
was
number.
talking about
And another one,
what's the population number on the census?
Any stat.
Well, they didn't start
You're
the
not giving
census
any
until
stat
100
of
years
the
after
number
they already
of-
started reclassifying them. So
I'm not
no one
disagreeing
can
with
give
you, but
any
just tell
numbers
everybody
as far as
the number.
population before the 1790 census. In the 1600s, the 1500s, no, Native Americans didn't run around tallying ourselves on a fucking roll. That's
When
not
we
how
took the
Aboriginals get down.
census-
Just like that's not how Africans get down, right? Name me the African
listen as
tribe that
well.
was taking population census records before a European showed up.
I didn't say before. I said when they started. What was the number in 1790? As you said, what was the number of black people in America? That's what I'm asking you.
And I asked if anybody else has a question before I dip up out of here.
You see-
Kaizo, it's
you
been
see-
real. It's been a good one, Kaizo. Hey,
It's a
Kaizo and
sense
Mike
question. It's a
are
make sense,
like,
but
like the bad boys. You feel me? I'm Mike Larry. He's Martin Lawrence. Every time I come through, Kaizo does numbers. He makes money. Good job, Kaizo. Good job. Great stream. Great topic.
Thanks for coming through.
Yeah, he didn't answer questions though.
Can I ask him a question?
Oh no, but like I showed nothing but receipts, video.
No, you answered something that nobody was
and y'all
even
niggas just up
asking.
here babbling. Come on, y'all. This is
No,
gonna be an excellent
no, nobody's doing that. You're dodging
I hope
questions.
you guys know
dodging
that
questions.
this will be rebroadcast sometime in the near future.
Let it
and
be.
then y'all ain't gonna be looking so good. Meanwhile, my eyes
you-
will say, "Damn, Mike, look how you
But you
stood
still
on
didn't
lineage and
answer the
educated them
question of the
Africans
population I
and
asked
them
you.
pan goofies."
What was the population
Look,
of
can I
black
ask you a
people in
question before you leave out?
1790 in America? Answer the
He's
question.
saying there's no census, bro. You keep asking the same question. He's saying there was no census to provide that proof. So
He said
can't
it
just
was-
state it.
I think
He's saying
he's
there's
gone
100
now.
years later. But can I ask him a question before you leave out?
Go ahead, brother.
I was going to ask him because he was saying something along the lines of population count and the census. Before, I believe, mid 1800s, New Orleans and half of America was not included as America. So what is he basing his numbers on if the rest of America wasn't included in America? Like a state like New Orleans or Louisiana, they were similar to Haiti, in which their population has a mulatto, an African class, and a European class, and a native class. So what is he basing his numbers on if it was America's only originally the 13 colonies? And he's talking about seafarers and Moors, but that's still proven connects back to Africa. He didn't touch on that.
The
But can
only
you
thing
explain
that
those two
proves
things?
is that Spaniards took African slaves and guides with them to North America. That does not prove that the Aboriginals came from Africa. What are you talking? How about this? How about this? I've given a great dissertation up here. How about I go on mute and I shut up and Principe Lee Yee, why don't you share your screen, show some proof, or don't? Why don't you just talk and explain to us what this African to native connection is?
Well, like I said, you may be correct on certain points, but you overlook the fact that people mixed, and some natives were mixed with African. They created these quote unquote.
I already addressed that.
colored
I already
and
said over
Negroes.
99% of
Yes,
Black
I agree
Americans
with
have
you. I agree with you there.
Aboriginal
I agree with you there.
indigeneity, and some of them come from the 4% of Africans that then mixed in with natives.
Well,
I already
more than
addressed that.
4%, bro.
So what are you talking about?
Well, I agree with
I've
you.
never
Where are you
claimed
getting that from?
that there's such a thing as Black Indians that have no African admixture and Black Indians that do have African admixture. I've claimed that there's both. It's not one
No,
or
but
the other.
you're fusing the numbers.
History
to
is
make it look like
nuanced,
it's
okay?
larger than it really is.
History is nuanced.
It's smaller
There's
than
some Black
what it really
natives
is.
who have no African admixture. They were here before
How big are
Columbus.
they? They're
It's well
smaller than the ones
documented.
that
I can
don't.
share my screen. I can cite my sources. I can show more proof. And there's some Black
Okay.
natives who do have African admixture. Why are you trying to make it seem like I'm making some argument that I'm not? I never once said
No.
there's no
All
such
right.
thing as Africans that just have no African admixture. I said it's mixed. It's both. It's nuanced.
But you
But
didn't
it's
give
the
us.
majority. It's the majority.
How is it the majority when they say only 92,000 to 300,000 African slaves came here? How's
It
that
can
the
still be
majority?
the majority. What was the number of Black Native Americans
If
in
this
America?
nigga don't keep asking me the same goddamn question.
Yeah,
Does anyone
because-
else have a question, or the
You know
trolls
what?
just
If you
coming
don't,
out to
if
play
you don't
now?
have the answer,
Mike,
we
can
can
you
talk
estimate-
about it.
Okay, so I gotta ask you,
estimate from
Kaizo. I gotta ask you.
grandmama?
You can
I
leave
want to do a
if you
team
want
up
to.
stream with you. I want to do a team
Anytime.
up stream with you this Friday. I'm seeing that my audience has some questions for the Africans. I'm wondering if you can bring some of the Africans that are crowd favorites, like Ola, the Bantu white supremacists.
Sounds good, man. Friday, let's get it.
All right. Hey, I think I still got you in my inbox, so I'm gonna send you an email. If you can get the roster together, my request, I need you to get your slaves together, okay? I request for for the roster, I request Ditso, that South American with the identity crisis, Ditso, right? Ditso, Ola, the dancing Golela, and I want the Bantu white supremacists.
Excuse me, did you say get your slaves together?
Yes.
We'll do it.
I don't know why we have this kind of self-hate that we do.
It's called dark humor, dumb nigga.
It's not.
Get off
it's
your
not,
high horse.
It's
Stop
not
being
humor,
sensitive.
and neither
Me
is
and
calling
Kaizo share dark humor.
a black human being the N-word. Dark
hey, it's
humor.
funny how Kaizo took no offense to that, but the pan goofy up here is taking offense.
Majority of
Mr.
black
Cyrus.
people take offense to that, man.
Riddle me this, Mr.
I know
Cyrus.
you
Why do
maybe
you
don't have any
Cyrus as your last
respect for
name?
us.
Are you a Hebrew Israelite? Are you one of them niggas that
No,
cherry pick?
No, and I'm not the
Egyptology to
N-word
make you
as
feel
well.
good? Why is your last name
You have
Cyrus?
no problem saying
Did your
with
mama
that,
name
brother.
you Cyrus?
Whether she did, whether she did
Why
not.
are you cosplaying? Hey, just like
This
there's
is
such a
just
thing as a $5 Indian,
regular
there's a
online,
$5
random
African.
online
You
discussion.
the type of black Americans that Ola hates over there cosplaying African. Why is your first name Oga and your last name Sir? Your mama didn't name you Oga, nigga.
That's not my.
Ain't nobody in your family told you you could come from Africa, nigga. Stop lying.
Have you ever heard of a pseudonym before?
And why is your pseudonym African?
It could be anything. Some
Have
people's
you
name
done your
is
genealogy and it points
the
back to Africa?
the sleeping dog.
Sir, you've asked me plenty of questions
the
and I've
flying
answered all
fly.
of them. I have a question for you now. Have you ever done your genealogy? And if you did it point to Africa?
Yes, I did, and yes, it has. And you did not answer every
No.
question.
And what did you find in these paper documents that said Africa? What was it?
It says majority West African DNA.
This nigga talking about a DNA mouse swab. I'm not talking about a DNA mouse swab, dumb nigga. I'm talking about genealogy. Genealogy is paper research. It's land allotment records. It's marriage certificates.
Cool down.
It's death
Most
certificates,
people,
it's
a lot of
birth
people
records.
don't
It's
know
not
the
a DNA
difference.
mouth swab.
Wait. A lot of people don't know the difference. And even whether they do,
a lot of people do. A lot of
man,
people
hold
do.
on. And
Not
whether
everybody
if they
is
do or they don't,
now
it
that
doesn't
you know
make
the
them
difference,
dumb.
have you ever done a
No, it
genealogy?
It does not make them dumb, man.
Have you done a family tree, my
It's
guy?
actually dumb for you to say that. To be
Have
honest,
you done a family tree, my guy?
I have not.
Okay. So if you haven't even researched your family's history, why are you cosplaying as an African talking about Ogas Sirius?
I'm not. First of all, I'm not cosplaying, and most people have not done their family tree research.
And a lot of people have. I literally
does it mean that they don't? Does it mean that an Irish American doesn't know he's Irish?
I've met with 40 people and helped them with their genealogy, tribal affiliation, and tribal citizenship. So there's many Black Americans who have done their family tree and their genealogy. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's not the majority,
not done your
brother.
family tree, why are you claiming to be African?
Bro,
you don't know if you're African.
The people who claim to be Irish American, do they have to do their family tree to do that?
You ain't even done your family tree, my guy.
People don't have to do that to know where they come from, man.
Yes, Irish they do have to do their
Irish
family
Americans know that they're Irish Americans because
did he just say
Italians do? India Americans, so many people do.
Oh my God, I'm
lost
in the sauce.
See,
no, it seems like you're actually lost, man.
Olga, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
If this guy is saying that there's a distinction between native blacks and African American blacks, how can he tell you and determine who's who if you don't even know your genealogy?
He can't even bring up a legitimate stat saying that Black Americans are this percentage of the population and they're not. He's just saying like 99%. Where is he getting that stat from? Let's look it up right now.
He's reaching, man.
Where's he getting the stat from? Where can
you guys gonna share your screen yet? Goddamn, I've shared my screen and showed 2 videos and like 4 slides. Can any of you guys share your screen? And why does Princip Liye look like he in jail right now, my nigga? Come on. If you don't get off of that smuggle phone, if you don't get that, I'm calling the CO, nigga. I'm snitching. I'm getting the whole block shut down. The whole wing gets shut down. This nigga live streaming from the jailhouse.
Dishes, man. I got shit to do, man. I gotta watch dishes. I mean, but my point, I get your point, but you're reaching.
That's your opinion. Your opinion is I'm reaching. Other people have other opinions. That's fine. I'm not here to convince you. I'm not here to sway the masses. I don't give a damn. I'm here to spread the information for those that are receptive to it. You can think whatever you want, Playboy. I don't care.
All right, that's true.
That's what everybody's doing, man.
That's
Kaizo, it's been
Bye.
real. I'll go ahead and shoot you an email, Kaizo. Talk to you soon, my African brother.
Sounds good. Peace and shout out for coming.
Peace.
Yeah, Colin saying get it together, your collection of slaves. I mean, how this you trying to help black people and you make comments like that? Why would somebody take you seriously, man? You're shooting yourself in the foot, making a crazy ass statement like that, man. That's so stupid and crazy, man.
Yeah, it's a bit crazy. Panam can say, "Hello, I seen your
Like
video."
the way we have no regard for each other and just disrespect the image of black people and blackness. It's crazy, man. Like he was using the blowing the N-word anyhow. You can't think of anything better to say than that. So it shows that again, even when he was interacting with everybody, you can see this arrogance and this I'm better than thou, and you're not even worth my time-ish. You're talking to your fellow human being. You're supposed to have some decorum and respect. And again, some people are agreeing with what part of what he's saying. Like, for example, that indigenous talk he's saying, I believe it's true. I believe that black people were already here in America. But once you start saying that it's the 99% majority, and then the ones that take it from Africa is less than 4%, and all this stuff, that's where you not only do you lose people by saying that, but you lose power politically by saying that. And he's not looking at it from how, if we push this ideology in the public, it's going to help us or it's going to take us back. And obviously, it's going to take us downwards. We're already fractured. We want to fracture ourselves more. So if you were just pushing the angle of, hey, we're already here, let's take that into our history as an account, but nonetheless, we're still Africans. We should still acknowledge our African part. We can do that, or we can acknowledge both. I will have no problem. But what he's saying is just, it's not politically viable at all. We don't have time to be wasted on that. So y'all could go ahead, bro.
I mean, I think it really doesn't matter, because even if what he says is true, I'm not sure if it is or not, because obviously I wasn't there. But even if it was true that the majority of blacks were Indian reclassified,
that's
the majority
not
of the
Ain't
majority
no
of
way
the
in hell is
haplogroup.
that true.
No, I'm saying even if it was true, the haplogroup of black people is E1B1A. 65% of black Americans have that haplogroup. 35 other percent have either like R1B or some because of the slave rapes or whatever. But yeah, most people have E1B1A that are black. So they have, which is also shared in West Africa and South Africa, as well as East Africa. So if they share the same DNA, why are we arguing about
Right.
who is black and who is Indian? It doesn't really matter.
And that 4% he keep that 4% number that he's trying to make that is small. If you take 4% of black, let's just say 4% of black people from Tanzania and put them in New York in America, do you know that even though that number is 4%, 100% of those people are still Tanzanian? So 4%, it doesn't mean that the majority of those people are still not African. I don't. So it's like, I don't know if y'all understand what I'm talking about, like, because like it doesn't matter that it's a 4%. Out of that 4%, what is the stats on that? And it still be a 70, 80, 90%, which is more than likely what it is. So I mean, I don't know why he has this kind of attitude and stuff, but I mean, that's on him, I guess.
Mike can go. You want to go, Mike?
Yeah, you know, okay, it's the reason why I called in, right? So for the past 10 years, right, when I come online, I just see Black Americans just fighting back and forth over this identity thing. You see that they're arguing with themselves, or they engaging, calling on Africans channels and going back and forth about this with that. At what point will you guys just agree just to disagree on just pick whatever you want to be and just be, or let someone be what they want to be and just move on with this thing, man? Like, don't you guys have more issues in your community to deal with? Like, it's getting boring, man. Like, oh, we Indian, we came 2%. Who cares? At the end of the day, whether you are whatever you end up being, it's not going to change the price of bread or change someone's life. Personally, I don't care. Like, if you end up being presenting that you're this or whatever, Indian, whatever, it's not going to change anything in my life or any African person's life. So I don't understand why you guys just call on some African person's channel or even you guys, this channels, like just arguing back and forth about who we are, who identity. God, Lord, man, just you guys just come to an agreement on what you want to be, or maybe let some people be who they want to be, and others be who they want to be, and just move on to better things, man. Because when I go to black neighborhood, I see more issues, more important issues. There's so many drugs coming from Mexico, flooding almost every black neighborhood. The kids, I mean, like so many better things you guys could be like just addressing or dealing with than spending like a decade online just fighting over identity. I mean, I don't say this to be belligerent, but I'm just saying like it's getting boring to me, man. Like it's just getting too boring.
That's true. That's true, Mike. But can I ask you a question then? We can get back on the Trump topic, and how does it correlate to Haitians, Black Americans, Africans, and stuff like that? Can we get back to that?
Ask me a question.
Yeah. Like, so how do you perceive a Trump victory would affect or impact Nigeria, and what do you think about what happened yesterday?
I don't think Trump's victory will impact Nigeria. I honestly don't think so. Maybe the only way it can possibly impact is maybe because one of the main reason why I kind of support him is because he doesn't believe in these wars that causes inflation everywhere. Because the Ukraine war just created inflation all over the world, man. The inflation we're dealing with in Nigeria is due to the stupid war. Biden, I mean, we're just recovering from COVID, because COVID already poke a hole in the global economy, and then this guy just went to war right after that, and now he just created economic crisis everywhere. Now we have economic crisis in Kenya, now riots in Kenya, Nigeria. Now we're dealing with hyperinflation. So Biden really didn't help everyone. So the only reason I think it's probably too late. I don't know if Trump can now put it control, but that's just the only issue I have with Biden. Like how he just created a problem for this global economic crisis with this war that he did.
Can I come in? Let me kind of switch into what you're saying now. First of all, Biden did not start the war in Ukraine and Russia. That was the act of General Putin by starting that hot war with the Ukrainians. Two, Biden is not responsible for what's happening in Kenya or even Nigeria. I don't see why you can blame him for that as well.
No, I didn't say he's responsible.
He don't have anything to do with that. Three.
No. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, three. Trump that you're supporting. Trump is not supporting Nigerians. It's like again, we're not politically aware in America. Africans are not politically aware of what's going on in America or even in that country for that matter. Donald J. Trump banned Nigerians from entering the country. So you want him to go inside the White House again, so he can start banning and separating Nigerians from Nigerian families from coming to the state. Do you know how painful that was for Nigerians when Donald J. did that, and Biden reversed that? Is it because your family is already in the United?
You actually give me a second.
Yeah, is it because your family is already in the United States? What if your wife was in Nigeria, like a lot of Nigerians during that time, and Donald J. Trump came out with that stupid ass ban? How would you be feeling? And now you want to come out and support him just like that, forgetting the real issue that actually affects you and other Nigerians?
Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks. Let me respond. First of all, I never said Trump supports Nigeria. I never said that. That's one.
You said that? Said again?
I never said Trump supports Nigeria, supports anyone. No one supports anyone.
You said that you support him.
I said I support him, but you accusing me of saying Trump supports Nigeria.
No,
I didn't say that.
No,
you said Trump never supports Nigeria. Okay. This is what you said. You said Trump doesn't support Nigeria. Trump supports Nigeria. Neither does Biden support Nigeria. Neither did Obama support Nigeria. For one, let me even go to. Let me tell you why even during Nigeria and United States had an agreement, a weapons agreement, that they would supply Nigeria. They would sell Nigerian weapons if Nigeria abandoned their weapons program, because we wanted to start our own weapons program in the 70s. But the United States kind of made an agreement with the Nigerian government saying they did with the Saudis, hey, don't start weapons program. We will supply you weapon you need. And at the height of we fighting Boko Haram, when the terrorists invaded the northeastern part of Nigeria, Obama abandoned Nigeria.
Leave Obama. Obama.
Wait. I'm going to your
Biden
question.
and Trump is.
But bros, I like to talk, man. Give me a second.
Go ahead.
I'm going somewhere. I'm coming there. He abandoned to sell weapons. When Trump came in, he sold the weapon to them. So that's one. So I'm saying this not to say that Trump support Nigeria. I'm just saying none of them supports any Nigeria or anybody support anybody. No one is obligated to support another country. That's not their job. It's up to every country to do for themselves. You understand? That's one. Two, you're saying Trump banned Nigerians. Trump didn't ban Nigerians. All he did was going against illegal immigration, whatever. So I can't see and say I support illegality of any form.
He targeted Nigerians by that thing and prevented Nigerians from coming. I know what I'm talking about. No, he
doesn't have the. In what sense?
He said that Nigerians cannot come into. I'm about to even look it up right now. He pretty much banned. He said that Nigeria has to provide all this nonsense before we can even become naturalized or become citizens of this country. It caused major issues. I'm about to look it up right now. It's like you're not even Nigerian.
That's where I look at it. Okay, fine. Let's agree just for the sake of.
He banned the Nigerians from coming to this country.
For simplicity's sake, first of all, if United States ban Nigerians, I don't think that hurt Nigeria, to be honest, because Nigeria
hurt Nigerians.
Give me a second.
Inside the country.
It's not. Oh, bros, calm. It's not. If in fact this whole immigration thing, the America is going like pretty much sucking the human capital out of other countries to me, and then they will come and tell you that, oh, we're doing them a favor by letting them come in over here and things like that. Because what America does is when they bring all these people here, they deport the one they don't want, they keep the one they need. So it's not them doing anybody a favor. So if you choose to ban Nigeria, immigration with Nigeria, that I don't care.
Then what? Okay. So you support them. You support.
Bro,
but do you support them? You don't have to support them even if they do that. Are you supporting them?
I'm not. My issue, like I said when I came in, my position has nothing to do with immigration.
Okay, right? But it's
my position. Hold on. My position is a policy that's hurting everybody, and I'm telling you that Biden has a lot to do with the war starting because.
Which war are you talking? What's the war in Nigeria? Which war are you talking about?
The Ukraine war.
What is that? What does that have to do with Nigerians?
I didn't say it has to do with Nigeria.
I'm telling you that Donald Trump. You're a Nigerian man.
I didn't say. Hold on. Let me. But if you learn to listen and not listen with prejudice, maybe you will get what we're saying.
It's no prejudice.
I'm responding to all the points you made, right? Then you mention. That's the problem when you make a bunch of points at the same time, because when I start responding, you'll be confused. That okay, what's this got to do with that? Because you made point about Nigeria, you also made point about the war. So I'm responding to all your points.
You got to write it down because I already know what I said.
Okay, cool. So regarding the Ukraine war,
I tell you, he didn't start that.
What do you mean?
Nothing. Biden got nothing to do with that Ukrainian war, and whether he does or he does not, that got nothing to do with the affairs of black people in Nigeria or black people in America.
I just told you that the war created inflation, man.
How much inflation?
You know what inflation means?
Did it create inflation in Nigeria?
Really? It did globally.
Yes, it did. Globally,
do you know that global economy is tied together?
God,
do you know about the grain issue, the gas? Do you know that the global economy is tied together? Every country's economy is tied together. Do you know that?
Listen, Nigeria had a zillion issues with Buhari even before that war started. So don't call no European war destroying your economy.
Let's not move goalposts.
You're saying that the Ukrainian war essentially destroyed the Nigerian economy.
I didn't say destroy. I say created global inflation. I didn't focus on Nigeria.
Which also affected Nigeria.
Yes. Okay. So I'm not talking about Nigeria only. Nigeria has its problems, has all its problems. I'm saying the Biden decision created a problem for everybody. That's why I say I'm not talking about Nigeria. I don't care. I don't care about Nigeria. I'm saying.
Not talking about everyone. I'm just talking about.
Lord have mercy, man.
Hold on. I'm saying you as a Nigerian, you're supporting Trump, no problem. But what are some of the benefits that he has given to you as a Nigerian? Whether you're in America or in Nigeria?
I'm not. You have to understand the kind of person I am. I don't go for handouts. I don't need someone to give me anything. I just need you not to make some decision that will affect me. That's
not how politics work, man. And we can see it by.
What do you mean?
That's not how politics work. We see the lack of African representation in politics in the Western world. What you're saying.
What does that mean?
That's not how other people do. If you
want, you got a job, and then what?
You have to use your money to pay politicians to get laws and things passed in your favor of your people.
I don't need law. I don't need bros. Listen to me. I'm not a person that goes looking for handout from
It's not a
politicians and
handout.
government. In fact, I want government to leave me alone. I'm not
No.
one of those people that go for government looking for government to do something for
Bro,
me.
that's not how
I
lobbying
do for
works,
myself.
man.
The only thing I ask from government is please don't increase too much. Don't increase taxes. Don't make policy that will affect my pockets, my business. That's what I ask for.
And you still have to pay for
And
that.
I'm
You have to
telling
give
you
them
that
money to do
Biden
that.
made decision that affected everybody. The moment the Ukrainian war started, inflation, gas price went up in America.
I'll tell
Even
you
inflation
again.
happened in America. It happened everywhere.
I tell you again, he got nothing to do with Putin starting that
He's
war.
got a lot to do with it.
Did he start the war? Did he invade Russia?
Let me. If you allow
What
me,
are
I
you
will break
talking
it down
about,
to you.
please?
But if you allow me, I will break it down to you.
Okay, tell us how he started. He threw some bombs to Russia to make them invade Ukraine. Go ahead, let's hear it.
Okay, are you gonna allow me to talk, or you're not gonna? You're gonna allow me to break it down and just cut me off?
I'm listening.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the issue with Russia and Ukraine started way in 2015. When I think 2014, around 2015, when Obama was the president, when the coup first happened in Ukraine. We know the West have a lot to do with the coup, one, and Russia annexed Crimea, was supporting the Donetsk region, and Obama, fortunately, left office before the whole thing escalated. And when Trump came in, he kept the situation in control, right, by not pushing weapons into Ukraine that would trigger Russia to invade Ukraine, because there was an agreement between Russia and America during the end of the Soviet era that they will not. NATO is not going to expand towards Russia. They had that agreement, right? NATO wouldn't expand towards Russia, and of course, consistently they violated the agreement by taking former Soviet countries, putting them into NATO, and keep expanding. And now Ukraine is like the last frontier, where if Ukraine becomes a member of NATO, then you just have pretty much nuclear bomb is right at the doorstep of Russia, and Russia wouldn't accept that because they had the agreement. So when Trump came in, he put everything to a hold. He didn't push further. He kept everything to a hold. He didn't move weapons into Ukraine. The moment Biden came in, he started pushing weapons right into Ukraine, and that's when Russia invaded Ukraine. So he knew that once he does that, Russia is going to invade Ukraine, and it's going to be a war. And once war starts, there's going to be inflation. Now, do I care whether war started or not? That was the wrong time for him to do that, because we were just all recovering from COVID. COVID kind of affected the global economy. Now, for you to have to that, that's just not good, man.
Wait, it was the wrong time.
The poorer countries more. So that's why I'm telling you that he did that. That was the bad decision.
You said it was the wrong time to do what exactly?
To push the weapons into Ukraine, which would trigger Russia to invade Ukraine, which would lead to the war. So his decision had a lot to do with the war. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying. Okay, go ahead.
Let me ask you: does Ukraine have the right to join NATO or any other alliance? Do the Ukrainians?
Did you listen to me, bro? Let's not get into. You know what? Let's end this conversation because I don't.
You want to end a conversation where
you're moving conversation further and further away from what the
it's
main
not
point
further away.
I don't want to debate Ukraine go right
look,
or no
you
right.
cannot blame. America has a right to give
everybody have
Ukraine
right to do what they want to do.
but you don't have the right to invade another country the way Russia did.
I don't care.
Can I chime in?
You don't care.
Can I chime in? The Democrats have a long history of funding political organizations. Even that president in Ukraine is backed by the Democrats. So the whole sequence is correctly, as Mike stated, it ties back into the Democrats as their agenda to kind of box in Russia. Even
I don't think it has to do with Democrat or Republican. It's just the establishment, and the establishment. That's just what he'll do. If he was a Republican president, he would have done the same thing. Just that Trump just happened to be anti-establishment. He just does his own, and people like him for the fact that he just make decisions that's more of U.S. interest, economic, rather than all these global conflict and things like that. That's why people like, okay, this guy coming, obviously is proving that he's not interested in all this global conflict rubbish that just affect everybody else, except those people in the military industrial complex that are making money out of it, because they make money out of these wars, man. When they sell those weapons, everything, those guys make a lot of money. Everybody else just suffer from it because people die, economic inflation comes in, kicks in, all those kind of problems. So people don't want wars, man, especially not right now. So that's my issue. Now, whether it's right to fight war or not, I don't care. Whether Ukraine, Russia, or whatever, I don't care. I don't support Russia. I don't support anybody. So I don't know why you're asking me, does Russia have a right? I don't care. I don't care because I'm not Russian. I don't care what. I'm just saying, hey, I'm an American. I can only hold my president responsible. I can't vote in Russia. So whatever Putin does is wrong. Hey, I'm not in Russia, so I can be going after Putin to go vote against him. But I can only vote against another the president that's my president that wasn't thinking too deep enough. Like, I don't hate Biden. I'm neither Democrat or Republican, but when a politician make bad decision, I have to hold him accountable, man. And I don't think Biden could have prevented this situation. You know?
Well, that's not Biden's fault at all.
He had power to have prevented it. You
know? No.
Okay,
No,
can I talk about question subjective? You know, we have your opinion.
You can't.
Can I ask actually both you guys a question real quick? Even when you talk about Nigeria, the problem dealing with the jihadists in the Sahel, the Democrats refused to sell arms to Nigeria for a long time. You don't think that increased criminality and banditry in Nigeria as well?
Yeah, let me. I'm about to get off because the main reason I called in is not what I'm talking about right now. I'm about to get up, but let me say this one last time. Please, Black Americans, you guys decide what your identity is, and just he's getting boring with his identity argument you guys do online. Like it's like I don't know. It's getting boring, so embarrassing. Like, oh, we're Indian with this, with that. Just make up your mind, man. Decide what you are, and let the rest of us decide. Okay, thank you.
I agree.
Okay, so yeah, the other brother, you said that did Donald Trump selling did America not selling weapons to Nigeria influence the Nigeria's fight against banditry?
No, it increased it. It increased it because like certain key arms.
Yeah. Let me say this: whether America was selling arms to Nigeria or not, that's not no way is that any type of possible excuse for Nigeria to be defunct on fighting banditry and uprising jihadism in their country. That's not an excuse for anything. So whether America did or not, that's nothing. Nigeria still should have defeated those issues with or without America selling arms to them. And one of the reasons America was not selling arms to them because obviously the Nigerian military, a lot of those funds do not buy weapons or equipment. They sell off those weapons. They embezzle the money. They do all sorts of things. This is public information. So the Democrats said that, hey, you guys, first of all, you guys are doing a horrendous job, and the problems are even getting worse. Why are we going to sell you more weapons while we know that a lot of you guys in the military are fighting are working on both sides? You want us to pretty much give you guys free money so you guys can create more mayhem? They made a smart decision and said no. Now Nigeria was not smart to say, hey, let us fish out those perpetrators who are doing that, and let's find weapons from any other country. The UK is still selling weapons to Nigeria. So many countries. So I said the United States, you can't fault them for not selling weapons to Nigeria.
Yeah, but you kind of see that even the split between ECOWAS is caused by that because of the increase in jihadists.
No. The issue.
Say that again. Let me finish this one point. They're battling ideology, not a people. Like they're battling people who basically say, you know what, F this, we're gonna push for a more extreme variation of Islam, so we can have more power and control over this quote unquote toxic government. So if that's the ideology, they're not fighting a person. The person could just be walking regular and blow themselves up or shoot at you. So it's very hard to fight an unset army. You understand what I'm saying? So I think they're doing a decent job. They just ask for arms to be sold to them, and the Democrats is giving all these stipulations. And this is also weakening America's power and presence in the globe because people are turning to Iran, people are turning to Russia, people are turning to China. You don't think that hurts America's presence as well as its image in the black world?
Wait, hold on. You first said something about ECOWAS. What do you say how does this issue relate to ECOWAS?
Because due to the increase in banditry, right? Due to the fact that they're giving increased stipulations to the different nations in order to get arms, that creates some people that basically start to turn away and the cause of split. Because some of them want to still mess with America. Some of them is moving towards Russia, Iran, China. You see what I'm saying? So that creates that split. So that they like some of the actions are leading to other actions, and you're kind of like just not connecting the dots.
Are you hold on? Are you saying that not America not selling, the Democrats not selling the weapons is causing the split?
Yeah.
Okay. I got
Russia,
you. I got you. Let me respond to that first. First and foremost, that's not causing any split anywhere. The leaders, listen. We live in the 21st century. Africans are high and well opportune to create weapons, firearms of their own. We've been creating firearms, I think, since the hundreds of years now. Africans have been creating firearms indigenously. So that's not it. That's not no. So what I'm saying that from that time to now, not only should you be able to create a regular firearm, but you should already advance in your technology. So the leader of ECOWAS is Nigeria. Nigeria is not doing their job as the leader of that organization in terms of military, political, and economic intervention in the region. So even when America was selling them weapons, they still weren't doing anything with it. So what I'm saying is that leave America, forget America or any other power. The leaders in Nigeria, the leaders of ECOWAS, specifically Nigerians, are not doing what the position of leadership entails. Again, it's not everything you can use with a barrel of a gun. You said that, and I agree with you. You have to put political ideologies, political incentives, economic incentives to reduce and eliminate this banditry and all this kidnapping and stuff and this jihadism you have in the region. Nigeria is not doing that. Don't blame it. Don't blame anybody else for an issue that Nigerians should have been solved by themselves.
No, but if you notice, a lot of nations are pulling away. They're going to Iran and Russia and China. Okay. So you don't think that's weakening America's presence? So you don't think we're
that's look, and that's what generally what's happening in the world. Not your position your position is not always going to be. Sometimes it's going to be more secure. Sometimes it's going to be less secure. But the thing is, are you doing things to make your position more secure? And America and the West are doing things to make their position more secure. It might not be having the proceeds right now, but at the very least, they are. Remember, they are number one, and additionally, they are trying to make things make their position more secure. And I don't see China. I don't see all these nations, all this China and Russia and all these countries. I mean, those are not the standards on this planet Earth. The standards of the planet Earth are coming from the West right now. So it seems like some of y'all thinking that these countries that they're good or they're better or they could do things better. They don't, and they're not.
It's not about better. It's about who's basically aiding your growth. A lot of people globally look to Russia, China, America. But the more stipulations you start to create, it makes Russia and China more attractive to those entities. That's why you see most of Africa looking to China and Russia. And you're trying to downplay it, and you don't notice that in this attempt to be this god of the world or police of the world, you're creating more problems because certain people are trying to create change, but you want them to accept LBGGRT. You want them to accept all these kind of strange stuff. That's
a completely different point. But what I'm saying is that all these you saying that I think it was Kaiser brought up a stat. You said that the total investment of the West in Africa is greater than the investment from China and Russia right now. So the West actually has more investment in Africa. Additionally, the West is not trying to live directly in Africa and like actually be there in your face. China has been causing numerous issues in Africa right now. The West is like, hey, we're going to sell you goods, we'll sell you weapons, but we're not going to be directly here in your face, changing your market, running for politics, and directly influence things the way that the Chinese that you're saying that like, oh, they're high and dry, they're so clean are doing. You had a situation in Nigeria where the Chinese were causing directly were inside the country, disrespecting black people and causing heavy problems in Nigeria. And this report came out like I think around a month or so ago. But you don't have anybody from America coming to Nigeria and saying that, hey, you Nigerians can't go to this restaurant. Hey, we're gonna be training in pounds here. We're not going F your currency. Chinese are doing that. The Russians you're talking about right now, Kaiser was saying that the Russians are pretty much in I think it's Niger or Burkina Faso. They're like pretty much running the modern day slave labor there. And then anybody that's not agreeing with what they're doing, the government has given them permission to pretty much injure or even kill the person. That's what Kaiser said, I think 3 weeks ago. So the West is still exploiting, but the way that these other countries do it.
Where's the proof of that? You can't just say something.
No, I said Kaiser. No,
Kaiser provided proof.
What's the proof of China disrespecting Nigerians in Nigeria?
No, Burkina. You're saying something about Burkina.
Wait, hold on. The Chinese issue I brought up, that's not important. That's not a major issue to you because you just
It is a major issue, but it's about perception. Some people you got to
perception. So now you're excusing Chinese saying that Nigerians.
No, I'm not excusing.
No. Why are you saying perception means that you can look at it in a certain way and it can be different from what you see? I'm telling you that's what happening. There's no other way to look at it. I don't see why you want to go and defend Chinese disrespecting black people.
I'm not defending that. I'm just trying to say that from a perspective of the government, they might say, okay, they might want their own secluded city in some parts of Lagos somewhere, but they're going to give us the funds to build roads
That's not what I'm not talking. No, you're talking about something different, brother. I'm not talking about economic or construction deals that African country can have with any other country. I'm talking about immigrants, a lot of them who are illegal, coming into Africa, disrespecting Africans in Africa, and being racist, putting Jim Crow statutes in place in the places that they are in Africa. Yeah, and you're talking about perception. What's the disagreement on that?
Well, I'm talking about government-wise, right? If you're looking at it from a political global stance, okay, see, mama, relax. If you're looking at it from a political global standard, America is viewed as the people that have a bunch of stipulations in order to get money. You have to do this, that, and the third to get money from the IMF. If Russia is saying, hey, we're going to give you $100 million, right? Or we're going to help you get equipment to build your buildings, but we don't have no true stipulations besides maybe a partnership, that may be viewed as a greater sign or path to growth than America. That's what I'm saying. Perception matters. America's
let me answer this. First of all, Russia does not even have any. They're not rich. That's a second world country. You're bigging up as if they're some kind of economic powerhouse. Bear that in mind. They're a second world country. Additionally, there's no way that a country is going to make deals without trying to influence or go as far as they possibly can. So I've given you an example of the Chinese far overstepping their boundaries to an unacceptable, a disrespectful level to the race. Then I told you about Burkina Faso, where the Russian mercenaries are shooting and killing black people. Kaiser himself, you can ask Kaiser about what I'm talking right now. He will confirm what I'm saying, that what I'm saying is a real report. You can ask Kaiser. The Russian military, that you think they're not doing anything, they're killing black people according to the reports we're getting right now. So if you don't know that, something in your mind should say, hey, let me at least go and see the extent, how is this happening? How much is it happening, and what's the extent of it happening? Don't just come out and defend a country that's currently who's killing people right now anyhow in Ukraine. Do not give that any country the benefit of doubt that they're God's angels on earth. No.
You say
I'm not going into God's angel. Michael, go ahead, bro.
I'm trying to understand. I heard one thing and I heard another one. You say Russian. First of all, you say Chinese are disrespecting Nigerians, like, and then you say Russians are killing black people. I'm trying to understand.
Okay, yeah, I said two things. I'm gonna start with the Russians. Kaiser brought up a report. I think it was three weeks ago, whereby he was saying that the Russians are inside these newly formed military dictatorships in West Africa. And the Russians are there, they're mining gold. Not only are they exploiting the resources and making billions off of the black people there at the expense of Nigeria, and the black race. But they're also injuring the workers that they have there. They're also killing them as well. Kaiser brought this information, so you can ask him, this, and he can confirm what I'm saying is true. Additionally,
Kaiser is not somebody I can consider credible.
Okay, but the Russian, I know, but
if you can show me where in Nigeria Russians are.
I didn't say anything about Russians in Nigeria.
Oh,
and two.
Oh, in Africa. Okay.
Yeah, and two. Since you think that Kaiser or anybody else coming online to say that is not a.
No, I'm not saying it's not necessarily true or not, but either way, here's the deal. Those countries have governments.
Either way, you give the Russians the benefit of the doubt that their hands are clean, right?
Okay, tell me exactly. No one's hands is clean. There's no country in the world where the government's hand is clean. Trust me.
Okay,
so I wouldn't even say government. Where the people's hands are clean. We all have criminals among us. We have bad people among us.
I'm specifically talking about the Russian government.
Okay, the Russian government. Okay.
Yes, because you can call the Australian government. They're not directly in Burkina Faso right now, so it's not.
Okay.
It's
so
not
let me make sure I understand you, though. Let me make sure I understand you, so don't make it too long. So you're saying the Russian government is in Africa, right? And they are there without the welcoming of the government of those whichever African countries?
No, I'm saying that the Russian government is exploiting, disrespecting, and even killing Africans in these.
Okay, explain Okay, go ahead.
In these new military juntas that people loves, but none of them are willing to go and live there. They are exploiting, injuring. They're making billions off of that.
Okay, can you explain the process of the exploitation so you can be clear rather than just give it clear explanation?
Yeah, Kaiser brought up that report, and pretty much they're going inside there. They're taking diamonds. They're working, and they're overseeing like a lot of this diamond and raw mineral trade.
Oh, okay, let's.
They're killing, and they're injuring, and they're killing Africans there.
Are they killing? Are they explain it? Be more clear in your assertion. Like you can just say they're killing. You got to explain. Give a more detail of what you're talking about. Like, are they just snatching people, pulling them, tying them, and shooting them for no reason? I mean, what's going on? I mean, what? Be more clear.
It's obviously they're not doing. Of course, they're not doing it that way, but they are injuring and killing people.
How?
If those Africans are not bringing out the quotas they want, the government along with the Russian government are injuring and killing people.
Okay, so you're telling me that it looks like I'm getting what you're saying. You're saying the Russian government have an agreement with the some African countries' government, right? To
the military dictatorships.
Okay, whether it's dictatorship or whatever, whoever is the government. Okay, but they are the government. They are the one in charge. Okay. They're the government right now. Okay, so they have an agreement with them to come mine, right?
Yes.
Come and do mining. Okay, so now Russia now sends their mining company there, right? And they go there and then they start mining and then they hire the Africans to do the work, right?
Yeah, go on.
And then they in the process they're abusing the workers. And some of them die in the process and things like that. Is that what you're saying?
That's more or less what I'm saying.
Okay, so to me, I see it as whoever is in charge, the African leader that is in charge. Obviously, they're the one they have, because there's no African country that doesn't have constitution, rule of law. It is not just, I don't know how you guys look at Africa, but every African country, they have a rule of law. They have, rules in place. So if rules are not being followed in their country,
that means that you're saying that the Russians should go ahead and be doing what they're doing.
Oh my God, man! I don't know why people do this. What's this common argument?
Can I say something, Mike, real quick?
Hold on. Russian company, mining companies there. We in conjunction with the government of wherever is there, and if they are doing abuse, if they are abusing the workers, then the workers use their country's law to tackle the issue, or you quit the job or whatever. But this idea that we have to now hate the whole country because of something that's not being done.
Nobody's saying to hate any whole country. What are you saying, man?
Okay, sorry.
I'm specifically telling the Russian government, man. Come on, man.
Okay, my apology. Okay, my apology.
And then you're not blaming them. You're saying, okay,
I have to blame my own people. What's my business with Russia, man?
Blame the government and blame the Russians who are doing it. You can do both. Don't just blame
I'll
black
blame
people.
whoever individuals that's doing wrong.
Do you blame the Russian government as well?
I will blame the mining company or whoever the employer that's abusing the people. Because I don't think Russian government told their people go to Africa and abusing the people.
So you put black people down. They're wrong. They're doing this bad thing. You agree with that?
This has nothing to do with black people.
But then when I bring up the Russian one, you're not going to say that. You're not saying the same thing towards them.
Listen, let me make myself clear to you. Hold on.
And then after this, you're going to go defend the Chinese too, right? And what they're doing in Nigeria as well. I know you're going to do that.
What are the Chinese doing in Nigeria? Tell me.
I'm going to ask you this. Have you heard about the report about what the Chinese people were doing in Nigeria around a month ago? Did you hear that report? Yes.
Can you tell me?
I'm saying, did you hear it to begin with?
I hear all types of reports. Right?
Pretty much.
Everybody post everything. Go ahead.
Yeah, pretty much. The Chinese were inside the country, disrespecting the sovereign rights of Nigerians inside of the country.
In what sense?
They went to their markets. They said that the Nigerians cannot go into visit the restaurants. If they're trading any currency, they have to trade it in the Chinese yuan. I know you heard of that, man. So you can't.
Okay.
And other related things. You heard of that kind of report, right?
Okay, I think I remember something like that. Okay, so a Chinese. Wait. A Chinese businessman.
It's not a Chinese businessman. Did I say one person? I said Chinese. A significant group of Chinese people.
Okay, Chinese businessmen.
I didn't say they were. Some of them are businessmen. Some of them could be. Some of them could be work for the CIA of China.
Okay. CIA of China. Okay. Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to present the fact who they're working for. But what I understand from that report was that a Chinese restaurant, right? A restaurant. So if there's a restaurant, it means it's owned by an individual. Somebody decided to go open a restaurant somewhere, right? Now he opens a restaurant. Now he, as an individual, for whatever reason, he feels he's going to make profit. If whether being racist is going to help him make more money or help his restaurant grow, that's an individual doing that. Now it's up to Nigerians that, to me, from what I understand, because I live in Nigeria, is people that open, usually foreigners that open restaurants, they usually open it for the rich, and they are not of the locals, so they have to be very precautious to trying to make sure they don't, have hoodlums or something.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Bro,
shut up, man. You're saying that. You're saying that. No, get the hell out of here, man. You're saying that a foreigner can come inside the country, and if they're going to be racist to their people to make money, hey, let them do it. Get the fuck out of here, man.
I didn't say let them do it. I didn't say that.
You just said that, and now you're talking about.
If you're talking about. You're talking about
emotional, man. That's man, you're not even a black. You don't have you're a black person, but you don't have the mentality.
You're too caught up in this black thing, man. Calm down.
You're not even a Nigerian, man.
Listen.
Your Nigerians were complaining about Nigeria. It's not about money. It's about the race. And you're talking about money as if that has anything to do with it. Even whether or not somebody has money or not, you do not. Whether they look like, you don't know whether or not they have money. So that's a I agree with you. That's a BS point. Somebody can be somebody can dress in bathroom slippers and go inside a Nigerian restaurant.
But wait, you don't know how much they have. I'm just giving a scenario of whatever.
That's not even what's happening. They were discriminating Nigerians based on
live in Nigeria. You know what's happening there?
Man, get out of here, man.
It's not how to have a conversation with you guys.
Go leave America. Go and live in China. Go and live in Russia. Go and live on all these
I think you misunderstood what I'm trying to say. If you allow me to lie,
you're talking
about. Calm down, man. Let's have a conversation. Don't be too emotional, man.
Go live in Beijing, man. Fuck out of here. You're living in America and you're talking all this shit, man. You don't live in Nigeria. Fuck out of here, man.
That's the deal. That's the way the world works, man. That's the way the world works. The Chinese guy that decided to do that discrimination.
It's not one person. You see?
Okay. His employees.
You have the mentality of a racist, man.
But calm down.
You've never been told that before. Like, you have the mentality of a racist.
Oh, Lord.
I keep on telling you, it's not one person. It's a significant group of person. They want to cut down their racism. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Do you want to have conversation? Or you just want to be throwing in something?
Then you want to claim that you're some kind of Nigerian spiritualist or traditionalist. Yeah, you're talking like a class member right here. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Well, ultimately, the point I'm trying to make here is this. Whether it's because I know Nigerians that open business and they open restaurants in Nigeria as well, and people do whatever they have to do. But here's the deal. Whether the Chinese businessman, whoever did wrong, right or wrong,
saying Chinese business. You still say
businessmen? Okay, group of businessmen. Okay, does that make you happy? Okay.
Group of Chinese people. That's not
okay. Group of Chinese people. Now, is it fair for me to now hold that against an entire Chinese population?
Did I say you should do that?
But wait. Hold on. Because I do know Chinese people in Nigeria. They actually don't do that. They also have restaurants. They don't do what that particular restaurant did. And I know Chinese. Hold on. I know Chinese people in Nigeria. They're actually doing fine. They're helping, working together with Nigerians, doing great things. So now, for me to now pick the negative, and now we ask you this way: if a Black American moved to Nigeria, hold on, wait. If an individual Black American moved to Nigeria and he decided to open a restaurant and do something like that towards the locals, would it be fair for you? So wait. If I would have said the same thing the way I said it, like to defend the entire Black American by saying, "Hey, that individual decided to run his business that way, and he made, whether it's right or wrong, we cannot hold it against the Black Americans in America because it's just an individual or group of individuals decided to practice their own business that way." Would it have sound fair to you if I would have said responded?
Okay.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
It's first of all, I'm not going to conflate an issue that Black people have amongst themselves to an issue that Black people have with different.
That's no difference. That's no difference.
So
it's a big difference.
There is no difference.
No, man. My TV.
You will never be able to go to China and do what they doing in Africa or Jamaica to them.
Bro, let me be honest with you, man. Let me be honest with you. If a Black billionaire from Nigeria like Dangote, if he goes to China today with his money, the Chinese government will welcome him and give him. In fact, they will allow him to get away with a lot of some stuff. If some poor ass Chinese people are working for Dangote, and Dangote is paying millions of dollars of tax to the Chinese government, and Dangote mistreat those poor Chinese, the Chinese government are not gonna. They're probably gonna. It's probably slapping the wrist or something. Or they're not willing to let him go away with his money because of some poor people like that. Which I'm not saying is necessarily right. I'm just trying to let you know that in this world, people respect money. They respect values. Profits, and
they also respect themselves and the image of the country and the citizens of the country.
They do.
Yeah, but what you're saying, you're big enough, but you're not saying that. You're saying
I'm responding to what he said. I know Black man can go to China and do the same thing.
Black Americans alone.
That anybody that takes his money, an investor to go invest in another country, that country they will welcome you.
That's not what happened in this situation, man.
Hold on, can I say something real quick?
This guy's a racist mentality, man.
Well, you guys always see everything as race. How did you know the man that did it was doing it because of race? How do you know?
Go and live in China, man. Why don't you live in China right now?
Bro, let me be honest with you. I would rather live in China than live in some neighborhood in America. I'm sorry.
Why aren't you living in Nigeria?
Well, I live in Nigeria. I live both in Nigeria and in America because I'm a citizen of both countries. I'm an American and I'm in Nigeria.
Yeah, but you and your family reside in America, right?
How do you know that? Have you met my family?
I'm assuming now I'm asking to confirm whether or not it's true.
No, we live both in Nigeria and America, both.
But majority in America, right?
No, majority in Nigeria.
You majority in Nigeria.
So what's the point of this?
Your wife and children. That's not true, man. Your wife, if you have a wife and children.
So what is this?
Okay, now you admit it's true. So I'm saying that if you're saying that all these countries are treating all these countries are treating black people, hey, it's just how the world is, or anything like that, or that Russia and China they're doing right, and all America and the West is all right, all wrong. Why aren't you living in those countries that you say have all these?
If I have reason to be there now, if I have business there, I'll be there. That's just the fact. I know Nigerians are living in China, Nigerians are living in Russia. Do you know that?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So if you go to China,
how many rights do they have there?
How
how many rights do they have in all these
the same rights as a permitted as a law allows them?
As these second world countries that you're claiming to be as a kind of
the law is what determines your rights. The rule of law is what determines your rights.
Yeah, but what's this? I mean, we can clearly see that black people in America have more rights, have more businesses, have more privileges, have more upward relevance and less oppression than China and Russia that you're saying that's so good.
Well, okay. Well, that's subjective, but here's the trust of my argument. Hold on. Here's the trust of my argument. The point I'm really trying to make here is this. Individuals make decisions because they choose to be individuals.
It's not an individual.
Hold on. Among all people, it's just good people are good to other people. Bad people are bad to other people. And it has nothing to do with race. For example, I'll tell you where I'm coming from.
Oh my God.
I'm okay. For example, I've lived in America. I've lived in black neighborhood. And I've lived in white neighborhood. And I can tell you that I got treated better in the white neighborhood I lived in than I got treated in the black neighborhood I lived in. So is it about race? It's just I just happen to move to a white neighborhood where there are more good white people. There could be some white neighborhood that are more bad white people that would have treated me worse. And I just ended up happening to live in a black neighborhood where there's more bad black people.
Right,
I could have lived in a good neighborhood where there's more good black. So I'm trying to tell you that people treat you bad not because of the skin color. They just choose to treat you bad because they are bad people.
No,
so I don't conclude that whenever one bad Chinese person treat me bad, it's because of my race.
It's not one bad Chinese person, man.
It's just because the Chinese individual is just bad.
It's not an individual either. It's a whole.
How do you want me to judge the black people that treat bad in black neighborhood? How should I judge them?
I'm saying don't just trust China or Russia that they treat black people good or whatever. Do not trust them.
No, that's not
nobody would treat you. No, you can't trust anybody to treat you good. Even my own black people, I can't trust them to treat me good. In South Africa, for example, they probably treat Nigerians worse than in China would treat Chinese Nigerian China.
No.
They're black people. Am I lying?
No, you are lying.
No.
Okay. Mike is right.
You're lying, man.
Okay.
And being racist as well.
Listen. Okay. A Nigerian that live in Russia, right? I know a Nigerian that live in Russia. He hasn't experienced anything as bad as I've experienced from Black America in America. So what are you saying there? Just exactly. So
let me tell you what I'm saying, man. It is. That's why.
Name one Russian. Okay. Let me ask you this: name one Russian or one Chinese person that has said something that's nasty to Africans, as people like Mike TV or Tariq Nasheed. Name one. Just name one.
Leave Black Americans alone, man.
I'm just saying, but they're black. So I'm telling you, it's not about
race. Them. Stop attacking them, man.
People make choices because they're just who they are. It's not because of their skin color. No. I'm not going to say Mike TV is acting nasty towards African because Mike TV is black. It's just Mike TV being Mike TV. Tariq is just being Tariq. It's not because they're black. People are just people.
It's deeper than that. Hold on. It's deeper than that because the thing is, China is trying to create a Chinese first policy. Russia is creating a Russian first policy. The reason I like Trump is because Trump created a Trump America first policy. When black people start talking about an African first policy, Mike seems to push back. Why is that?
Say it again.
Even in the
who's talking African first policy?
He's talking about the African first policy. He's talking about why Nigeria is not trying to, because China was once in the same similar predicament and what Olga's talking about. But China created a plan to get out of it with the 50-50 ownership plan. They have different schemes in which they slowly took ownership of their own economy. So, there's
no time. Hold on now. You're doing strong argument. There's no time somebody here said, "Oh, Nigerian government should create Nigerian first policy," and I disagree. There's no time anybody said that today. What he's telling me is that Chinese people are just racist to Africans. And I'm trying to respond by saying, no, it's Chinese individuals or group of individuals that are being racist. It's not all Chinese people. It doesn't mean now.
I didn't say it was all. I said, in general, don't trust them.
You can't tell me not to trust. I can't trust anybody. The same way I would not trust. The same way I would not trust Chinese person, I also will not trust another black person.
Hold on. Does Palestine trust Israel? Does Palestine do they trust Israel?
Well, an individual Palestine means an individual.
In general.
Are you talking about country versus country or people versus people?
Yeah, both. Answer both.
No, country versus country, that makes sense. But people versus people, that does not make any sense.
Okay, right now, people versus people. Do you think the average Palestinian person trusts and wants to, work with the average Israeli person?
Well, depends if you meet the good. Let me tell you this.
In general, yes, the majority, yes or no?
Do I know? Have I met every Palestinian for when you come to that conclusion?
So you
I
don't.
can only give you. I can only. Hold on. This is where I can present it to you. Depends on the level of wisdom of their Palestinian, and depending on the level of wisdom of their Israeli. A Palestinian with a certain high level of wisdom will understand that. Hey, if I want to do a business with a Israeli person, it depends on the heart of that Israeli person.
No, trust. Trust the person, not just in business and.
No human being should trust anybody in any case,
no,
unless you know the person.
It's called being an ally. Now that's how countries become allies now, and be on friendly terms.
See, you gotta learn to make it. This what's the word? Separate countries, policies of countries, and people. You understand? People are people. There's no human being in this world that's really 100% loyal to a country. Countries are created by individuals, and human beings just want to survive. Human beings want to make a living. Human beings want to look for greener pasture. Yeah, you have level of emotion attached to your country, your neighborhood, your city, your whatever you do. It's natural because you grew up there or you have connection to it. But at the end of the day, it's first law of nature that matters. That's self-preservation. You always look for greener pasture. No matter how much you love your country, if you see a greener pasture somewhere else, you go there. If you're from California, you love California so much, want somebody offer you a better job in Texas or somewhere, you go there and go get the job. So people, human beings want to survive first. So this idea of countries, yeah, these are just there. These things are created just to make things more organized and civilized, to make the world more organized and civilized. That's all. And they create rule of laws. But at the end of the day, it's when you're dealing with human beings, your fellow humans, it's the heart of the person that matters, the mind of the person and the character of the person, not the race of the person. So this idea of I have to trust a black person and not trust a Chinese person, I don't buy that.
Well, what you're saying is that's not how the world works.
That's the way. Well,
you
work for everybody differently. The way it works for you, different from the way
it's not how it works for the way the world works. I'm telling you that the world does not work the way that you want and wish for it to work. So, yes, go ahead, please.
I was going to ask you a question. So, geopolitically, how do you think black people should advance if you don't believe they should be at least having little simple partnerships business-wise with other people? How do you think black people, Nigerian, African American, Haitian, whatever, how are they going to advance if they don't have like a geopolitical or economic partnership with other people? What is your answer?
You see, one of the things that black people in general tend to do is we love extremes. So we love extremes and like making sweeping, you have something called a sweeping argument, but also sweeping mentality. You can do business with person. You don't have to trust the person. Even embrace where nothing is happening in the BRICS, by the way. But even that BRICS that you have right now, India and China, even though they have that little alliance going on, they're still fighting and killing each other over territory. So even you could do business with somebody, it doesn't mean that you should trust the person entirely. So yes, black people can do business with anybody, and should be doing business with anybody. But it should be the benefits should be at the end of the day towards black people. That's what everybody does. It's common sense.
When you say Africa,
I agree.
When you say the Africans shouldn't trust Chinese, what do you mean specifically?
Trust that the Chinese are doing what they're doing for your benefit instead of theirs. No matter how
they shouldn't do it for your benefit, though, man. You're
the one who's saying that. Mike was saying that that you should look at how the person treats you, not their country, not their race, and everything. And now I'm telling you that, man, that's not how the world works.
I didn't say. I said look at the individual's mind and study the individual, not his race.
Right, but that is not how people work for the people work for their tribe, their country, and all that stuff. They don't look at it. Including
me. People. Yeah. Okay, that's the deal. People. First of all, let me tell you something. People work for their interest first,
and the interest of the people as well.
No. Sometimes it conflicts. Your interest may not be. Hold on. Sometimes. Hold on. Let me give you an example. And you are a black American. Another person is a black American, right? And you have a company. The other black American also has the same company. And then there's a Chinese person that has the same company, right? Now, you got a
a contract somewhere, and you want to execute a contract, and you need to partner with another company, right? Now you have these two other companies. One is a Black American guy, the other one is a Chinese. Okay, yeah, of course. If you would prefer who to partner with, be the other Black American, right? Correct?
Yeah, yes.
Which, I mean, that's what you would be your first preference, right? Okay. So now, if you now do a good analysis, trying to analyze how your profit will come, and you realize that, oh, if you partner with a Black American, you only get, at the end of the day, your profit is going to be $5,000, right? And then you realize that, oh, if you partner with a Chinese guy, oh, wow, instability, at the end of the day, you're going to profit $2 million.
Okay.
Now, so let me ask you now. Now you have a choice to make. You partner with the Black American guy, you realize that the only profit you're going to end up making is $5,000. Now, if you partner with the Chinese guy, at the end of the day, the profit you're going to make is $2 million. So which one are you going to partner with?
I believe that I don't want to look at it from the individual perspective, because the individual is not the majority. So yes, I can say that, hey, in the short term, I may want to do business with a Chinese guy for $2 million.
Okay,
but
thank you.
But hold on, but it doesn't end there. Hold on, wait, but it's not end there. But even my mentality is, I'm gonna take that money and I'm gonna reinvest in the Black community. I'm gonna do business not only with that Black person that I can make 5,000 with, but why not make like 10 Black people I can make $5,000 with? I'm gonna reinvest. I'm gonna get that money. Hold on, because like you would just make that $2 million, and then
I'm just saying, at the end of the day, you pick the Chinese man over your brother. That's what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to tell you something. Your interest came first. Your interest came first.
No,
even though your Black American brother is gonna be mad that you didn't pick me over him. Oh, that's not good. You're a coon. This and that and that. He's gonna call you a coon. He's not gonna understand that. Hey, you pick the Chinese because you need for your own best interest.
No, I didn't.
Come on, that's true, man. Come on, man.
I chose the Chinese in the short term. No, it's not for my personal interest. It's to help. It's for the long term interest of Black people.
It's your personal interest.
No. The only reason
it's still your interest. Whether it's short term, long term, for whatever reason, you picked him over your brother, so he's still your interest.
I did not pick him over my brother.
You pick him over your brother, man.
No, I did not. I'm getting the money from the Chinese person.
It doesn't matter whatever reason you pick him. You picked him. I asked you who you picked between your brother and the Chinese guy. You said the Chinese guy. So no matter what excuse you give, you still pick
that's
the
not
Chinese
it.
guy over your brother.
No, it did not.
Come on, man.
That's not it. I can help.
I'm trying to let you know how the world works, and you agree with me. That's where the world works.
No, I disagree with you, man. Because that $2 million,
y'all both agree, man. Y'all both agree.
That $2 million, I can help like 20 Black people with that money. So watch that. Watch that focus on one person.
No, but
one Black person, I can help 20. That's my mentality.
His logic is that you still want to go lead in first with the one that's offering you more money, then to come back around, which is logical. You work with whoever to help your people at mass. That's what I'm trying to say. That overall perception of what you're looking at Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is trying to raise the masses up, so they could be in a similar position as China, as America, as whatever.
That's a different topic, and they're not trying to do that.
It's the same thing. It's because you're basically looking at it from your perspective, and you say it's okay if I do it, but when they do it, it's a problem. When the Nigerians working with other entities, it's a problem, huh? Yes, they are. That's what they're doing right now.
No. I'm saying that you can make a deal with some another person for the interests of your people.
That's what they're doing, though. They're doing the short term, it may be bad, but long term, they're going to have an increased share.
That's what
more Black millionaires.
No, that's not true.
Is that not what it is all about?
That's what you just said you agreed to, though.
Everybody make a deal for their interest. That's what
I didn't agree to that. No, I'm saying that I wanted to hold. What I'm saying is that I wanted to hold off on helping one Black person if I can help 10 Black people in the future. That's what I'm saying. So me getting money from someone else to help 10. At the end of the day, what's the end goal? What's the end goal?
Is doing?
I'm talking about me personally. That's me.
For your advancement, for your own interest. That's what.
Not my own interest, for the interest of my people.
Your people and yourself.
Yeah, but you still start with you. Still start with you.
It's not no.
So you're saying you're going to use your individual interest in order to reach some sort of collective interest?
No, I'm saying you don't. I'm saying that a human being does not even need to have an individual interest in terms of business and stuff like that, because there's a lot of nonprofits out there that don't make any, that they're not for profit. They just help to help people. A lot of so many people are doing that. Y'all never heard of that?
They say that, but it's not true. They usually make a percentage off. A majority of them is making
Not you can't say, but it's still not all of them, and they're not doing it for money. Not every organization is created for money.
They have a lot of write-offs in which they are creating personal gains for themselves while saying that they don't take nothing.
It's a way they can organize their business and make a lot of money, but they sacrifice that for more human just causes they believe in. So I'm saying that a person can have a businessman can have the same some businessmen that have the same mentality. So that's why I'm telling you that yes, the reason I'm getting that 2 million is not to keep it for myself, it's to help people, help my fellow black person. 10 more black people instead of 1. I don't see anything wrong with it.
It still ties in the chest. Sometimes you have to do a little partnership with somebody and take that profit and money from that to increase the wealth of others.
I'm not disagreeing with
that. That's what Nigeria is doing. That's what Congo is doing.
No, they're not doing that.
Oh, he's corrupt. So why do you think they're taking deals from other nations? Even if
they're not doing that. What African leaders are doing are looting the country and sending it to foreign banking institutions. Africa is so rich, but the politicians make it poor. And
here's the thing, and I want to address Mike. I know he left, but I think the big problem with Mike is that he doesn't really relate. He doesn't understand how to relate to other black people, like outside of his tribe and stuff.
He doesn't even care. He doesn't even care.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. I know he's a Yoruba.
Hold
on, bro. Let me finish. But like I said, I spoke to him before, and he was saying he went to some dancers. He went to go hang out with a Black American woman one time, and I think when he got to the event, I guess he wasn't familiar with the music, or he wasn't familiar with the way that they were dancing. And so he said he couldn't relate to it, and if he was here, I would just say to him, all you have to do is just study the culture, man. If you wanna understand Black American like culture and music and stuff, you only need to listen to 2 artists, maybe 3 at the most. The first one is Otis Redding. Well, bro, I'm not done. The first one is Otis Redding, and the second one is Sam Cooke. And the reason I really like Sam Cooke, because even if you are a brother who's kind of awkward and you don't really know how to dance, when you listen to Sam Cooke's music, his music was made for dance. Like basically the way he puts the lyrics and the rhythm together, you'll start snapping your fingers and vibing to it without even realizing it. You can listen to Sam, like that's how I used to be bad at dancing. But you can listen to Sam Cooke in 1 week and learn how to dance in 1 weekend and not even realize it, because every song that he has is either about dancing or it's about him like going somewhere trying to pick up some girl and and stuff like that. Like you will gain all types of social ability just by listening to that music. Like his music is very socially educational, and I wish Mike was here, and I know he'll be here sometime later, but I'm gonna suggest that to him next time he up here.
Can I add some support to your foundation and what you're saying? Can I add to that?
What do you mean?
Can I add to, like you said, in terms of like music, to understand the Black experience in America? So I want to add to that. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So also, I mean, I thought. Yeah, those are some good. I thought you would have said some kind of new age artists, but those guys are good. But we can even go beyond that. Listen to Billie Holiday's "Strange Fruit," or just listen to or listen to the blues. Listen to the blues.
Yeah, see, blues. See, here's the thing about blues, though. Blues, everybody is not into blues, but I bring up Sam Cooke because number one, he was so iconic in like American music. But it's like when you listen to his songs, every song is about a guy that's he's new in town, he don't know where to go, he don't really know where the females are. So, he's just on a journey to go find, okay, where do I go hang out and meet friends, and where do I go, find females. And most of the songs, it's a lot of rhythm. It's like, you know what I mean? You can't help but dance to it. You start listening to it. All he got to do is just turn that on and put, turn all of his albums on and just listen to, put it on in his house while he doing chores around the house. That's all he got to do.
I mean,
And in a couple days, he'll be dancing like, and then he needs to go to like a Black American cultural event, like go to a Black American Motown or music event or even a jazz event or something, and just go and mingle. You don't need to, know what I mean? You put on a nice little suit on, put some nice little slacks on, and the walk up to the female and say, hey, my name is Mike, such and such, I'm from Nigeria, but I really appreciate Black American culture, and he'll meet so many women easily like that.
Well, we're not talking about, we're not even talking. Let's forget the women part. We're just talking about in general. And in general,
yeah, but in general and with the women, because what he's really struggling with is, you can tell when he talks, he struggles because he can't really relate to Black Americans, and he can't, he likes Black American women. I've heard him say that, but he don't know how to get them because, like I said, he's not familiar with the culture. You just need to get familiar with the culture, you know what I mean, and he'll be all right. That's all I'm saying.
I think it needs to be like, I think it needs to be mutual social exchange or mutual cultural exchange, I would say, right? Because it doesn't matter whether Mike is able to relate if that other party is not willing to like understand him or his culture, where he comes from. Like, how does that work?
It's not hard. All he got to do is just walk up to the girl and kiss her hand and say, hey, I'm Mike, and I appreciate, Black American culture. Would you like to dance? That's all he got to do. Right, and they'd be glad to dance with him. He could dance with 5 or 6 different girls, and he could just pick the 1 or 2 that he likes and get their number and just fuck with them. That's all he got to do.
He's looking at like the worst of the worst and using that as a standpoint that everything is like that. You got so many educated, classy black people. I mean, just go to any NAACP event, go to any black political fundraiser. You got so many black organizations as well. So what he's used to is a certain image and stuff like that, and he doesn't really care for anything else. And he's not seeing the fact that having that cultural exchange and cultural interaction in general, not only is it good, but it's going to help Nigeria, Africa, and it's going to help African Americans. It's going to help everybody. But he doesn't really see the value in that, because like he has so many conflicting viewpoints in his mind. He claims to be an African spiritualist. Yeah, he doesn't have any compassion for black people in America. He claims to be pro Nigeria, but he doesn't care. But he's for everybody. So he has a lot of complexes in his mind that he's not willing to hash out. But I mean, that's all I gotta say. I gotta do some other stuff this Sunday. Today is Sunday. I want to enjoy the rest of my Sunday.
All right,
I'm not
bro,
spending
be
the
safe,
business.
man.
So
God bless.
y'all do the rest. Y'all take care. Bye.
God bless. Be safe, bro. But yeah, I was gonna ask him a question before you head out. Is that is it for I don't see him. I see him more like he cares for black, but he understand that it's like certain dynamics about race, certain people kind of are cliquish. So like some immigrants, when they come to America, African Americans is cliquish against them. So he probably learned through that to stick to your own in a sense. And that's the thing, you know what I mean? So at the same time, I don't think he hates black people, but I think he just knows that, okay, if you want to just focus on race, sometimes your own's going to reject you. That's what he keeps saying. But I think at the end of the day, he understands too that geopolitically that you got to sometimes make partnerships with other people. And a question to the panel, if you guys are African American, what steps have African Americans done to embrace foreigners? Like me, I'm a Haitian American. I'm cool with African Americans, but what steps have you guys done to embrace us in terms of when we come? Oh, he left. Cattle, you here? These niggas are good, bro. Yo, I'm Dolly, man. Yeah, I guess everybody left. John Zola, you not there? John Zola, you here? Yeah, that's the bigger question to me is why, what steps you guys are taking to create that bridge. And that's about it. Um, yeah. And overall, I get his premise, but it's like you gotta make partnerships to move forward. And a lot of people don't see it like that. They think, you know, life is, people gonna give you something. You gotta play chess. China rose through chess. Nigeria's gonna rise through chess. They gotta work with the allies. They gotta make peace in ECOWAS, AEC, AES, my fault, and it's unify themselves. They can't be waiting for the West to unify them or tell them or give them the okay to unify. But it's the same for African Americans, Haitians. You gotta start thinking outside the box. Create schemes in which connect South, the South with the East, the Northeast, the Midwest, and start creating business plans where it connects. You know what I mean? People farming in the South, you create markets in the West, markets in the East. You know what I mean? Where Black people can create economics and then use those economics to create housing and solve their own problems. You know what I mean? But I don't know. But it starts with organizations. If you don't organize, then the person who's more organized gonna control you. That's all I gotta say, man. But I'm out, bro.
One, two, 1, 2. What's going on? Oh. So the question, are Black Americans Native Indians or African descendants? Should West Africans pay reparations? Answer. Black Americans are both. They are I believe there are native Indians, American Indians, who may be classified as black. And I also believe that black Americans are African descendants. And should West Africans pay reparations? Yes, through internal affairs. That should be handled as a matter of internal affairs. Just like you can have a company and one department or division may owe another department money. So as a matter of internal affairs, yes. Free Papua TV. Free Papua from who or what?